What's going on, everybody? I don't know what's happening with my soundboard or anything right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another week, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about three stories. We got one story coming from GameSpot talking about more games need to be honest about not being finished yet. Okay, we're going to talk about Mass Effect TV show. Mass Effect TV show ordered to rewrite scripts and make them more appealing to non-gamers. And then we're also going to talk about an article or a tweet talking about Halo Studios having leadership problems. So we're going to go into that as well. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. And if you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Becoming a member, obviously you get the emotes and whatnot. You can join our Discord for free, but if you join and you are a member, more rooms open up for you on the Discord. You can also support us by going to check out some of the music that you heard in the beginning of the show. You can go to Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Pandora, all the places that music is held. You can listen to it. You can stream it. You can download it. You can buy it. And then there's also an apparel store down below as well. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Water Bear? Big Mo, Sarge, Eclipse, Allturn. Who am I missing? Roic, good morning. Mr. Z, good morning. Kylo, good morning. Yeah, Water's talking about it's mid. I was like, it's not. I was like, is it mid? I was like, wait a minute. We just started April. We're like the 5th, isn't it? It's the 5th or 6th? What's the date? The 6th, right? We're not talking fraction. Fraction is January, February, March. It's the 1 quarter of the year is done. You're saying it's mid. Mid is like Sarge said, mid, like June 30th. I said July 1st, right? Like July. Right, that's mid. You're like my son. He's like, it's almost here. I'm like, calm down. I haven't even had my birthday in the year yet. You're talking about it. It's halfway through the year. I don't count it until we've done it, not because I see it. All right, let me see. Water Bear says, you mean that Mass Effect? Wait a minute. Wait. You mean that Mass Effect that it's they're doing that they have already failed? Got it. That's right. That not even the game. We're not even talking about Mass Effect 4. We're talking about Mass Effect, the TV series or movie or whatever they're doing. They're already going to ruin it. Eclipse says, really don't understand that statement. Mass Effect felt like I was playing Star Trek, a good Star Trek. No. The Mass Effect TV show ordered to rewrite scripts. That's what we're talking about. You guys are talking about the video game. We're talking about the show. Jason Marshall says, I didn't even know Mass Effect show was being made. That's news that came out over a weekend. Already makes me not give a shit. Yeah. Well, there it is. Did you guys have a good weekend? Obviously, if you observe Easter, I hope you had a good Easter vacation or a good weekend. I know my nephew's still off, but my son's in school today. He doesn't go to a religious school. He goes to a charter school. What did I do this weekend? We watched Mario. I went to NASA on Friday. We saw something top secret, Chad. We saw something top secret. Let me show you. Let me see if I can bring it up. We saw something top secret. We got pushed off the road while we were driving there. Let me see. No, it's not going to work. Let me see if I can. No, let's see. I'm going to see if I can bring it up. No, I can't. It's not signed. Oh, wait, you know what? Maybe it's signed in over here. I'm trying to sign into my iCloud. Let's see if I'm signed in over here. I don't think I am. Yeah, let's do that. No. All right. We got pulled over on the side of the road. We're driving to NASA in the morning, and all of a sudden, I see everyone pulling off to the side of the road, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? And we see this big tractor trailer coming down, and we're like, oh, are they bringing maybe part of the rocket or whatever? They're transporting it and stuff. And it was weird because they were on the wrong side of the road, and the other traffic that was going the same direction, or in the opposite direction, I should say, was still going. But they were on our side of the road, and they were driving down, and we were moving like super slow. And here, let me see if I can get it for you up here. It was really cool. Here, I know this is half-assed, chat, but this is what we're going to show you. This is what you get. Okay. I'm going to hold it up to the... For fuck's sake. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's probably too... It's blown out. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that for you. We had a tractor trailer drive by, and it had a ship on it. Okay? And I know you guys can't really tell, but there's it looks like a space shuttle. Well, they don't use space shuttles anymore, right? So they were like going through, and we were looking at it, and we saw the SpaceX logo on the security trucks. So this thing called the Dream Chaser, which didn't work out for them in the past, right? This is what we thought it was. We saw the actual thing at SpaceX, or in this thing called a Gateway, where they had this thing, okay, and we thought that this is what it was, but this is not what it was, okay? It was something completely different, which is pretty crazy. And we were like, oh, what is that? So apparently there's something that SpaceX is working on where it's going to be a ship that's not like a rocket. It's going to be a ship that you can like take off and then go into space, supposedly. It was really cool. It was a good time. We went to NASA, and then we saw the Mario movie the same day. And let me tell you something. The Mario movie, it's good. Don't get me wrong. My kid loved it. My nephew absolutely loved it. They were ecstatic with all the stuff that was going on the screen, and they were entertained. They knew all the Easter eggs and stuff. They were really excited about all that stuff. But as a story, man, there's no story. If you're going to watch this for a story, there is no story. It literally is like the video games. Okay, it's a cartoon of the video games, and it's really entertaining. And it's going to make a shit ton of money. It already made a shit ton of money. I think it made $374 million opening weekend around the world. So I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great, but at the same time, I'm not the audience for it. The audience is who I paid to get in, which is my nephew and my son. Theater was packed. Everyone, anytime something happened on the screen, I don't want to say it was like a Minecraft effect, because it wasn't a chicken jockey scenario. But when certain characters popped up on the screen, like the entire theater exploded. Like, oh my god, that's that. I was like, holy Christ! So apparently Nintendo knows what they're doing, because everyone in the theater that was there was absolutely ecstatic about the stuff that was on the screen. So, good movie. I give it a solid 8. Solid 8. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Mr. Z says, hot take, loved Mass Effect 1, then halfway through 2, meh, did not like it as much. You get the hell out of my stream, Mr. Z. No, Mass Effect 2 to me is one of the best games ever created. Like, I love it. Mass Effect 1, I didn't like the gameplay. I like the story stuff. The gameplay was just too stiff. They fixed it in Mass Effect 2. Waterbear says, normally people say the opposite. They half finished 1 and then played 2, and then they realized it was the GOAT. Yeah. It's some sort of shuttle. It was some sort of shuttle, Water. Let's see here. Altern says, oh my God, Space Shuttle. Is 30 going to space to record the next GXG on space and special event? Maybe. 500th episode. Stay tuned. Yeah, not happening. Jason says Mario was fun, but the first one was better. Says I was going to ask you about that. Should we go? Yay or nay? Or are you going to have a Mario story? Yeah, no, I would say go see it. If your kids like Nintendo and they like the first movie, go see it. It's very entertaining. Very, very fast paced. My only complaint was it was too short. It's like 100 minutes. It's like just over an hour and a half. I think they could have done more without like breaking down like the story and stuff like that, what was going on the screen. It's a good movie. Entertaining. It says, I saw it over the weekend. If they didn't spoil Fox, it would have been way better. Well, I'll be honest with you, Kylo. My son and my nephew never saw any commercials or anything. So when they saw, and I'm not going to say who the characters are, when they saw certain characters come into the film, they were like, oh my God. They were like super excited. Adults that see commercials and stuff, we were like, oh, okay. Neutralizer says, I saw Mario this weekend as well with the wife and the son. It was good, but it was a lot less focused and less funny than the first one. Yeah, it was very like foot to the floor, gas down, never ever stopping. There was never a lull in this movie. It was just constantly going. I don't even think it's about the writers, Sarge. I think Nintendo knows what their audience wants, and there was a lot of Easter eggs. My wife's complaint was, she's like, where's Toadette? They haven't shown Toadette. And I was like, well, maybe the third one. I fell asleep at the beginning. I gave it a 7 out of 10, but I'm not a huge Mario fan. It was sure to be higher. They got to do the Smash Brothers movie. Yeah, but what are you doing in that? What is it, like Mortal Kombat? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are they doing for a Smash Brothers movie? Eclipse says, I felt like I was watching Coco Melon. I'm glad the kids liked it. I feel bad for saying that the first one was bad. The first one was way better than this movie. I thought it was okay. Like I said, I thought it was good. I say okay, but it was good. It was good. Let's see what else you guys are saying. That's the best way to go see a movie. As soon as you know the day, stay off the social media. You'll have the movie ruined for you. Yeah, I hate watching. That's why even the Spider-Man, I don't want to watch anymore. The trailers they showed during the Mario movie, they showed He-Man. They showed, what else did they show? They showed a whole bunch of like kid movies. They showed coming back to theaters was Shrek, the anniversary, 25th anniversary. I forget what else they showed. You know what I didn't see, which I thought was strange? Did you guys notice? Like, we're in April. We're a month away from Grogu and Mando, and I haven't seen any more advertisement for that. I don't know if you guys saw it. I have not seen any more advertisement for it. I'm like, what's happening right now? Look at what's going on with Doomsday. By the time it's out, we will have a full script, cast, and characters. Yeah, it'll be an AI movie. Jason says it's an easy story for Smash Bros. The Master Hand comes in, wants to destroy all the galaxies, so all characters get together and fight him. No, I get that, Jason, but that's just fucking Marvel. You know what I'm saying? That's Endgame. That's Doomsday. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if it would be a smash hit, no pun intended. Spider-Man's doing actually a pretty good job so far, not ruining it. I haven't heard much outside of what they already know. What's going on, Drummond? Good morning. Do you personally think they released the game too early? You talk about Crimson Desert? No, I don't think they released it too early, but we are going to have a conversation because there's an article, and we'll get to it in just a couple minutes. The article says that there's more games need to be honest about not being finished yet, which we do talk about, right? Because our main slogan on the show is no pre-orders, no day one, no full price for a half-ass game, right? Because stop buying broken, buggy games. Games come out, they are broke, they are buggy. Regardless of how much people like Crimson Desert, I am one of them, they could have waited. They could have waited 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And it would have been better off. They wouldn't have got all the patches they had to do while the game was out. They could have fixed it before the game was out. So we'll have a conversation about that. Jason says, I saw Luke Cage and Iron Fist are coming back for Daredevil. Too bad Disney fucked it up. Mr. Z says, it's not that I did not like it, but for me, I did not want the gear up battle choices to end. I felt like the shooter area after shooter area, I can play Left 4 Dead for that. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Let's see. 30 NSG will finish game. What is this, 2005? Yeah. Well, let's go to the first story, right? Let's go to the first story. If you guys like what I do, we just do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, read the story on stream, give you my thoughts and opinions. We get your thoughts and opinions. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We just like to have conversation, get you through a couple of hours of your day. All right, so more games need to be honest about not being finished yet. GameSpot may receive revenue from the affiliate advertising partnership of sharing the content from purchase through links. Okay, thank you. All right, so we are shy of 2 weeks out from the launch of Crimson Desert, and while personally we have been enjoying our time with the game, I feel as one more egregious example of modern trend in gaming titles releasing at 1.0 when they should have released as early access. All right, hold on a second. Hold up a second. This, taking Crimson Desert, and comparing it to an early access game, you've gone way too far now. Before we even get into the goddamn article, sure, were there issues with the game? Mechanics weren't broke. People didn't like the control scheme, so they went back and fixed the control scheme for people. Was there problems with the thing on PlayStation? Sure, they fixed that. Was there controller or mouse and keyboard issues? Okay, sure. But to just that first paragraph, to put it in the same category as early access, what the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're not even the same thing. Cyberpunk came out. It was broke. So broke that PlayStation was giving money back. Nobody got their money back because of broke game. People got their money back because they're like, I don't like this game. It's not for me, which is fine. But to say that Crimson Desert's early access, what are we talking about? Okay. It says, since the launch of Crimson Desert, the game has added storage chests, okay, at the main hub for players to offload items and don't want to carry, but also don't want to lose. It added a bunch of fast travel points all over the map, including one of them in the main hub. Before this, it took hours of gameplay to unlock the fast travel points. First of all, again, this is not completely true. The abyss is above. So there was points down below, and if you took the map down below and overlaid it to the abyss up on top, people don't like doing the puzzles. A lot of people are not even doing the goddamn abyss puzzles, okay? They forget the abyss is there. But if you overlay it on top, the abyss on top of the map below, there was points up in the air that wasn't where the points were down below. So people would, before the game came out, when the early access reviewer copies or whatever, they got it, they could jump off and then go fly down to the area. That was part of the thing. But then they listened to people and said, hey, we need more fast travel. And they went, you know what? Let's just give them fast travel. That wasn't broke. That was by design. Completely two different things. Okay, including one of the main hubs before this took hours of gameplay to unlock fast travel points, even if you were kind of close to that location. It also added new items known as refinement tokens, which allow players to quickly upgrade any low-level gear to come across something more usable, without having to waste a bunch of resources in doing so. These aren't a little tweaks and fixes. These are changes that completely transform the experience of playing the game. That's because people asked for them, and then they said, let's do it. Before digital releases and internet connectivity, patches are nearly impossible, especially on console. Once the game was out in the wild, that was pretty much it. No changes could be made. Any issues with the game or exploits players could offer as a leverage were forever etched into the experience. Now developers are able to make alterations weeks, months, and even years after the game's releases. I do lament that the idea of things like Pokemon Red and Blue's missing number or backwards long jump in Super Mario 64 being removed update patches if those games were have to be released today. However, I do think the ability to improve upon a game's potential after it was shipped created a better experience for those already playing the enticing newcomers who had been put off by hearing about these missteps. Now, what he's saying here, I understand, right? Making something better that was already in the game, right? The foundation was there. They made it better, right? For instance, the stamina was depleting too much, so they slowed it down. They made it better. They adjusted it. It wasn't that this system wasn't in the game and then they put it in and it completely changed the thing. It was things that were already in the game and then they tweaked them to make them better for the game. The biggest thing that I would have to say is the storage chest. The storage chest made absolutely no sense to me because you would pick up everything and have everything on you. You couldn't really drop or get rid of a lot of the stuff. And then they're like, well, let's make more storage. So they gave you more storage and they upped it to 240. Now it's up to like 1,000. You can have 1,000 things. Thank you, because I'm a hoarder. And now they know that I can carry all the stuff because I'm keeping all the different armor sets and different things because you use them, right? You could go in guns blazing or swords blazing, okay, and destroy everything in the camp, or you can put a outfit on and just walk through the camp without killing anybody. You play the way you want to play. He says, for those that also the types of newcomers about the missteps, the net positive is exceptions of what people are getting to launch needs to be better set. Let's take Starfield. Okay. I'm not even going to, I am going to read this, but before I even read this, again, we're taking Crimson Desert and we're comparing it to Starfield. I'm sure they'll compare it to No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk as well. And these are not in the same ballpark as each other, just to let you know. Let's take Starfield, for example, which was launched on April 7th on PlayStation 5, along with a slew of additional updates in the game. You'll now actually be able to fly your ship between planets in a star system, rather than being regulated to fast traveling in any given orbit by being limited to just the airspace. Actually being able to pilot your ship from planet to planet in spacefaring game. What a concept. In a previous update for the game, a year after its launch, a vehicle was added because navigating many of the Starfield planets on foot was often slog. And the upcoming update is adding even more versatility vehicles because it turns out that the initial the REV8 buggy still wasn't efficient enough to explore some of the game's more barren worlds. When new Starfield players pick up the game on April 7th, they're likely to be getting a vastly improved experience over the ones that jumped into the game when it launched in September of 2023. And now, as a permanent $20 discount, to put it plainly, people paid money to be some of the first people outside of Bethesda to play that game and voice their feedback online. And then the studio took that feedback and used it to put the updates and improvements. That is an early access business model. 100%. And I can agree with this. This is why I tell people, do not pre-order. Do not buy day one. Do not buy week one or month one, because most of these games that are live service games and stuff like that, 100% are like that. Okay. Now, the examples of Cyberpunk, Starfield, and Crimson Desert are all single player games. Okay. The difference is Starfield was basically missing features that they pushed out the door way too early. 2, Cyberpunk was broken buggy when it completely came out. Crimson Desert wasn't broke or buggy. Okay. Speaking of the other two games, and the stuff that was in the game was already in the game. They just made it more vast for stuff to do or to fast travel and whatnot, right? It says this isn't to say that the games are released in a 1.0. They identify the issues of ways to improve the experience, shouldn't make those adjustments, but there's a difference between games that release feeling featured complete but could use a few tweaks, the games that are greatly adjusted, or in some cases, completely rewrite the systems. In Adapt to have a conversation now, in 2026 serves as a 10th anniversary for No Man's Sky, which he just tweeted again, so there's another update coming out probably this week. A game that was also dired at 1.0 launch. Over the course of 10 years, Hello Games continuously implemented update after update, which not only patched some of the initial mechanics that also developers said the game was meant to have, but also built upon this foundations to create an entirely new system, turning into the beloved experience, rewarding developers with the continuous sales of the game. This is now things usually tend to play out of the games such as these. The discourse around Cyberpunk 2077, there you go, the second one on the checklist, was also dire at launch. I never seen so much visceral launched at studio for releasing a game in a state that it did, because it was broke, buggy, and, say it with me, chat, and unfinished. Okay. Well, even the game gave its expansion Phantom Liberty a 10 out of 10. The whole package is now considered one of the greatest RPGs ever made. Yeah, 3 years later, which was 10 years total. We could also still have the long tail success, which also potentially avoiding the pain of launch. It's if expectations were just set to more appropriately. One of the biggest roadblocks as to why I think studios avoid early access model is way because those adjust expectations. The sales of the game will suffer at launch because people know a better version of the experience. Let me bring up something real fast. All right, let me bring up a couple games real fast. Okay, just a couple of games. I don't want to. Right, Slay the Spire is still in early access, by the way. Slay the Spire is still in early access. So when we go to this thing here, okay, and they're even saying it right here, okay, one of the biggest roadblocks of the early access is because those adjust expectations. The sales of the game will suffer in the launch because people know that there's a better version of the experience eventually be available. However, there's a game that be sold on Steam right now that defies that logic. At the time of writing this, early and 250,000 people are playing Slay the Spire. Hello, did people forget? I know people love Slay the Spire, right? 574,000 people, okay? Palworld was also in early access, right? Palworld was also in early access. 2.1 million concurrent people played this game, right? Concurrent played this game. People know what they're getting into. If a game is fun, it's fun. If it's not broke, buggy, right? They're okay paying a smaller price for a game if they know it's in early access. As long as you tell people, hey, it's an early access. It's an early access game. You're not getting the full game. This is early access. Baldur's Gate 3, also very successful. Early access for 2 years. Testing, fixing, making the game better. So when it launched, and it was still broke when it came out, but the first chapter or the first act, the second act was great. Third act was a little busted for a lot of people, okay? But they knew what they were getting into. Minecraft, okay, was in early access for years, and people know what they're getting into. Hytale is in early access. People know what they're getting into when you use the word early access. When you use the word early access and you don't say early access, like Fallout 76, Cyberpunk, Battlefield 2042, No Man's Sky, and all these other games, there's a difference. And there's a massive difference between what Crimson Desert has done in 10 days and what Cyberpunk, Starfield, No Man's Sky, Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 6, not months, not years to fix it, 10 days to make the majority of the fixes. Okay, it says, Slay the Spire is the game only a few weeks early into early access period with the peak concurrents, over 500,000. And then there's titles like Hades, duology of Baldur's Gate 3, which sees success in early access period. And then there's the 1.0 version drop. And there's your line of some of the best games ever made. Yes, I know, we're comparing a game from an indie publisher developer to the games from a publicly traded company. It doesn't matter. A game's a game. Just let the people know what they're buying before they buy it. But another recent gaming trend is how blurred the lines are becoming between indie titles, AA experience, and AAA games. I have a video on this. How AAA companies try to hide the indie companies or the under titles underneath their thing, right? So they can sell you. The point is that the landscape of the industry is going through multiple radical transformations, which is also leading to record studio closures, layoffs, cancel projects in order for the industry to come to a healthier on the other side of all things changing. I believe transparency is a key element. We could agree on this, right? Just let people know what you're buying. The phoenix rising from the ashes, while I also don't think these games simply calling themselves early access would have a magic wand to make it trouble the industry disappear. I do think one improvement that could be made tandem in with others are to bring some stability back. And of course, all these games I mentioned clearly weren't expected by the developer teams to be in the state that they were in that launched during the development. Early access was never part of the plan, but these studios were to look at these games honestly and then come out a few months ahead of launch and pivot to the business model. I clearly explained exactly why they were doing so. I think they would also have a good chance and would be rewarded for the games such as candidateness. Okay, rather than offering feedback and visceral, they would also be offering a feedback as part of the understood, unofficial contract between themselves and the developer. You would also be paying to help the developers identify the pain points and experience essentially, but you would also be purchasing the game with that knowledge. Very true, but you also shouldn't be buying the game at full price. Okay? Again, most of these games are at a discounted rate for early access. Okay, some actually charge full price, but you're getting a what do they call a founders pack, and you get like customization or outfits and stuff like that, right? I agree what he's saying here, as far as companies should be more transparent. Companies should tell you, hey, our game is not done. Actually, just over this weekend, I saw that State of Decay 3 had an early access alpha build that you could go play, right? That game was announced way ahead of time, and now we have an alpha. What have they been doing? Was the game even being made back then when they told us about it? Probably not, okay? But there's an alpha right now. You can test out stuff. Jeff Kaplan's new game, The Legend of California, he has alpha tests going on, okay? And beta tests going to be happening this year because they want to release the game. They're telling people up front, hey, this game is an alpha, this game is a beta, we're going to be in early access, right? They're telling you. Not these companies, not the AAA companies. They hide it from you. And then they make the sales. And then they can just recline. Yep, made all our money back. Again, Crimson Desert, I would not put in the same arena as these examples of No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, and all these other ones. Did the game come out? Did it have issues? Sure. Could they have waited 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Yeah, I think they could have. And it would have been much better because then you wouldn't have anything to complain about because they would have had all this stuff in if they just had testing ahead of time. But a lot of these companies, they don't do it. It says, of course, all these games I mentioned, or we read that part. It says, I think there's a good chance players would have rewarded the games and such candidates. Okay. It says, it goes without saying that I fully expect more games to come out in similar ways on how Crimson Desert, Starfield, No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 20... Stop. Crimson Desert is not the same as Starfield, No Man's Sky, and Cyberpunk. That narrative needs to stop, okay? Many other titles and troubled releases have launched, but we have an entire business model designed to avoid the unfortunate situation. The more studios should be taking advantage of it, regardless of indie conglomerate status, okay? I understand where he's going with this and saying, again, we say it all the time, broken, buggy games, stop buying broken, buggy games. Crimson Desert wasn't broken, buggy. Was it missing features? Yes. Did they put the features in very, very fast? Yes. I'm not defending it and saying that Crimson Desert didn't have its problems, but to take Crimson Desert and throw it into, sure, generalistically, was it complete at launch? No. No, it wasn't. But was it way more completed than Starfield, Cyberpunk, Battlefield, No Man's Sky? Yes, it was way more completed, right? So I can't look at this and be like, oh yeah, it's the same, just throw it in. No, Skull and Bones should be in this conversation, right? Eclipse, thank you very much.
That Brain Eclipse 187 celebrates 30 months of membership.
Samson will be early access.
Mark my words.
There you go. Samson will be early access. There's a lot of problems with Samson. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
What you think is gonna be more popular, 007 First Light or Crimson Desert? I think 007 First Light probably, cause everyone knows James Bond, you know.
All right, let me read that again. Thank you very much for the $5. What is that? Armar Nicoleman? Nicoleman, 9810. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. It says, what do you think is going to be more popular, 007 First Light or Crimson Desert? I think 007 First Light probably, because everyone knows James Bond. I don't think James Bond, in my opinion, I don't think James Bond is going to sell very well. I don't. I saw a lot of problems with it. I know you're new in the channel. A couple months ago, when they first showed First Light, we went over the trailer, and we saw, well, actually, it wasn't even a trailer. It was like a 15-minute demo that they went over. And we looked at the trailer, and we were like, something's off about this. Something feels off. It almost feels like it's too on rails. The car system feels like it's floaty when you're driving it, right? Is it Armin I. Coleman? Sorry. Thank you very much. I butcher everyone's name on here, so you're welcome. But I do appreciate the $5. So I think 007 is going to do okay, but I don't think it's going to do very well. 100%, I think Crimson Desert is still keeping their player base, and that number is going to keep going up. 007, I think, will I'll say around 1.5, 2 million copies. I don't think it'll become close to what Crimson Desert's doing. Not that they're the same type of game, because 007 is more of a Uncharted type of game, a movie type of game, or a Hitman type of game. So I do think it'll do well with the 007 crowd, but I don't think it's going to sell very well in the masses. But that's just my opinion. Waterbear says Samson looks like it's a very good wait what happened type of game. I wouldn't buy it day one. There was major issues. Half the studio got let go. They got rid of a roguelike system inside that game. And they said they might want to try to add it later. So we'll see what happens. Rod Slusher says 007 is 2026's Mind's Eye. I don't know if it's that bad. Mind's Eye wasn't complete. Right? Mind's Eye wasn't complete. You could throw Mind's Eye into this in this article. Crimson Desert, not in this, right? People didn't like the control schemes. The control schemes were there. You just didn't like them because they weren't the traditional control schemes, right? The stamina system is in there. They just didn't like it because it was, right? They're making tweaks. They didn't finish the game. Now, as far as the fast travel points, again, if you overlaid the bottom map with the top map, there was plenty of fast travel spaces, but people didn't want to engage with that. So the company was like, well, how do we fix this? They're like, well, let's just throw more in, right? Because their business model is single player with this, try to get as many people in to the base game, sort of like a No Man's Sky. And every time they said down the road, they're going to update stuff. They might throw it in for free. They don't know if they're doing paid DLC. So we'll see what happens with Crimson Desert. I think it's crazy that people are putting it in the same conversation as the other past games, though. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. If you're new to my channel, all we do little breakouts. So when I end a thing like that, we're not ending the show. We do the show for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, Monday through Thursday. So Waterbear says 30. The game is so good now that they have to find stuff wrong with it. First, it was the controllers, fixed. Then it was the characters being boring. Now it's because they waited to fix the things. Yeah, it's crazy to me throwing this in with a lot of games. Again, we can say generalistically that this game, if it just waited 3 weeks, they would have had nothing to complain about. Nothing to complain about. They would have had all these. But here's a double-edged sword. If they didn't release it, and let's say 3 weeks later it came out, would they still have these problems because people didn't tell them there was these problems, right? The reviewers told them there wasn't enough storage or whatever, and they said they were working on it. They did say they were working on it because we do have Luke Stevens said that they were working on it when he did the review process, and they said, we don't know if it'll be out by launch. So meaning they did make the fixes before it actually came out, and then it launched after it came out. But if they released it 3 weeks later, like if it released this week with all the stuff, do you know what I mean?
I can't wait for Wolverine. I think they might show more gameplay in April or May. We might get an update this month.
Thank you very much for the $5. Yeah, I think Wolverine's going to do well, obviously. I think it'll sell the 4 to 5 million units when it comes out. We'll see what happens. I don't really want to see more gameplay. I don't. I'm a person that if they show too much, we saw gameplay, right? We saw stuff, back in December? Is that what it was? So I'm good. Now I just want to see the game come out. I just want to see the game come out, and that's it. I don't want to see any more. I don't want them to ruin anything. I don't want people to start like nitpicking and pulling stuff apart from it. Just we saw the leaks 3 years ago. We saw the actual gameplay. Looks brutal. Looks very visceral as far as stabbing people in the face and stuff like that. So that's awesome because at least they're keeping Wolverine, real. So I'm excited, but at the same time, I don't have a PlayStation, so I won't be playing it. Maybe if it comes down the road to PC 2 years later, so maybe by 2028, 2029 down the road, because they say they're pulling it back from PC. We'll see. And then maybe down the line when PlayStation 6 comes out, maybe I pick up a PlayStation 5, and then when it goes on sale, secondhand, What's the next issue? The desert isn't crimson enough? Actually, people were complaining about that, Water. People were already complaining that there's not enough. The game title, Crimson Desert, and it takes so long to get to Crimson Desert. And they're like, there's nothing to do there. So they've already complained about that. True story. What's going on, PS5? What's going on, Argus? Waterbear says, at this rate, I'm enjoying Crimson. I'm at 126 hours in. Oh, all right. So let me tell you what I found, okay? Again, I'm a person that's not looking up anything. I see the highlights and stuff of people, like on Twitter, but I'm not looking up anything as far as where's this, where's that. So I happened to come across a cave, okay? And in this cave, I don't even know if it's a cave. It was like a mine shaft, I think it was. I went into this cave system, and there was like a trap system inside there. And before you went into the trap system to do a puzzle, there was 2 murals on the side of the wall. And I looked at it for a second. I was like, wait a minute, is that an X? So I looked on it, and then there was one X, and there was another X, and there was another X. And I was like, oh, it's a map. So I took a screenshot of the map, right? Took a screenshot of the map, and then continued to play the game. Went through, did the puzzle, got the thing, left the cave, had that screenshot, right? Had that screenshot. Then about 3 hours later, I'm in that vicinity where I was, and I not unlocked, but moved the fog of war from that section of the map. And I went, oh, wait a minute. So I went back to the screenshot, saw the little emblem of one of the, one of the markers on the map. And I was like, wait a minute, that's the thing that was on the map. So I went back to the screenshot, went back to the map. I said, yes, that's it. So then I looked at it where it was, and then I put a marker on the map. And then I went to that location, and I found a piece of gear. And I was like, oh, shit, this is cool, right? So then I went back to the screenshot, and I saw the other X was about maybe 500, 600 meters above. So I put a marker on the map, went over to that area, searched around, found another piece of gear. And I was like, holy shit, this is cool, right? So obviously there's stuff in the game that Aku was saying in the beginning that he found a dragon's, what did you call it? Dragon's lair, dragon, whatever. And it opened up all the hidden like dungeons or cave systems, right? I don't know what that is. Don't know where that is. Don't want to know where that is. Okay. And just been playing the game. I've found so much cool shit by just exploring the game. I love it. I don't care if it takes me 6 months, 9 months, a year and a half. I don't care. I might finish it earlier. I might finish way later. I'm having such a blast just going around and finding stuff. Because again, me coming across a hidden cave, going in that cave, noticing there's a map on the wall, taking a screenshot of that map, 3 hours later going, oh, wait a minute. I saw that. Is that the thing that was on the map? Look at the thing, figure it out, then started going around completing the map. That to me is great game experience. So to say that this game is broke or buggy, people are just not, they're just lost. They just like, too overwhelming. I don't know what to do. It's not holding my hand. And I'm over here going, this is my Red Dead Redemption. This is this generation's Red Dead Redemption for me. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Roadkill says, the only thing I hope about Wolverine is that it doesn't feel like Spider-Man game. I really hope it doesn't feel, I don't think it'll be, are you saying story-wise? Because obviously the gameplay-wise is not going to feel the same. He's literally stabbing people in the face. Like brutally destroying people. So obviously you can't do that in Spider-Man. Drummond says, so 30. What would be your score rating now that Crimson Desert versus when the game first came out? I don't have a score. I love it. That's my score. I love it. I loved it when it first came out. And the more I play it, the more stuff I find, the more things I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I love it. There's no score. But let me put a little asterisk there, Drummond. I also didn't pay full price for it. All right. I had a Microsoft points I put towards it. So I paid $27.90 for the game. And so it's definitely worth the money that I paid. It's definitely worth money for $70. But for a lot of people, I would hold off. If you're still on the fence about buying this game, you don't know if it's good. The longer you wait, the more fixes that'll be in the game or more adjustments there'll be in the game. There might even be more content down the road. Nothing matters if you nothing happens if you don't pick it up right away. right? You can wait 6 months, 8 months, single player game, nothing happens. Don't ruin it for yourself, though. Don't look stuff up. Just play the game. Ron Slusher says $900 to play Wolverine on PlayStation 5 Pro. Is it worth it? For me, no. For other people, maybe. Grand Theft Auto is. People will pick up a PlayStation or an Xbox and pay $700, $800, $900 to play Grand Theft Auto 6. Is Wolverine that? I don't know. Is Wolverine selling $900 consoles? No. Spider-Man, I don't know, right? Like either of them, I don't know. I bought my PlayStation Slim, or I got it with the bundle. That sold, and that was $199 back in the day. That's $200. Maybe even $300 if people bought it. $900? I don't know. That's a big ask. The city of Hernan did not ring the bell as much as Crimson Desert. City of Hernan did not ring the bell as much as Crimson Desert. Waterbear says it's cool. You can also tell that the certain puzzles, how they were inspired by the old school Zelda games, you had pretty much to do the same thing. We talked about that last week. There's a lot of borrowed mechanics from a lot of stuff. The Dragon Shrine, it was being vague on the location for a reason. No, I get it. I don't know. I've never heard of that. Like, that's the first time I've heard that in that game. So, Mr. G says, I wasted hours last night replaying a spot over and over with the course I could not harvest without the POT. Barbara says, 30. The way they did it, they don't want you to go straight through the story. If you do, you will almost miss a ton of boss fights. You were talking about that earlier in stream or in chat, Water. I came across a second monster in a quarry. I came across I forget the guy's name. I don't even think it was during a main story. He had like a blunderbuss as his gun, and he was I didn't die to him, but he got me close. He was wrecking face. Some of the boss mechanics, as far as when they go off on their little spree of shooting, if it's sword play or shooting the gun or raining down like lightning or whatever, is a little like, you're like, how do I block? Like, you have to have full health, like maxed out health, to have this much health afterwards, and you have to be pretty high on health. Otherwise, you're dead, right? And I'm like, how the hell do they, because they just keep spamming it. And I'm like, how the hell are you supposed to beat that? But I noticed it's like random, because like if you restart it and do it again, he doesn't do the exact same thing at the exact same time. So it's a little weird. Frustrating a little bit at times. Travis says, the only problem with this generation's Red Dead is Red Dead. I'm still playing Red Dead. That's right, but generations are like decades and stuff like that, right? So Red Dead came out in 2018, right? So that would be in the teens, right? Now we're in the 20s. So this would be this generation, this decade, I should say. Would that be better for you, Travis? This decade's Red Dead? I paid full price for Crimson Desert. It's fantastic. Although says, I'm saying Crimson Desert is worth 50 without a doubt. I just don't think it's worth 80 for me. I get it. Let's see here. Travis says, plays devil advocate here. With Wolverine, I actually hope it's more semi-open world, more linear. I sick to death of open world games. There's nothing wrong with Home, but I want freaking linear one. No, I don't want a linear Wolverine. I think it is going to be more linear, but that'd be cool if I could have Crimson Desert, but with Wolverine, bro. Hell, if I could have Crimson Desert with Optimus Prime, bro, right? That'd be amazing. If I could have the Transformers world, but with, you know what I mean? I'll take it. I'll take open world any day, but I'm being biased because I like open world games. Travis says, honestly, that's part of the reason why I'm probably going to get Mouse PI for hire. I hear it's semi-open world, linear kind of, like BioShock, and I miss those kind of 20-hour games. I wish they could just make an X-Men game. Well, me and Krebsy have always talked about how what's it called? Not Sucker Punch. Insomniac. Insomniac is making the Marvel gaming universe, right? They're making Spider-Man. They got Venom. They're making Wolverine. They're probably going to make the X-Men games. So you have this whole Marvel gaming universe that Insomniac's making, which I've said on top of that, I wish they use the same kind of voice actors across the platform and have more studios make the games and make the Marvel's gaming universe. Which they've done a little bit because they got the same voice actors in like Marvel Rivals and stuff like that. Travis says, oh, speaking of that, 30, did you see the news with Activision? I don't know what news you're talking about. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. El Dante says, give me Crimson Desert Sandbox, but let me be Jedi. Probably a mod for that. It's probably going to be a mod for that. So not only are you going to wait to get $50 to get Crimson Desert, El Dante, but when it comes out for the mod where they make the whole world into Star Wars, that's when you'll buy it. Let's be honest. And we know that's going to happen, right? We know someone right now is working on a Star Wars mod for Crimson Desert, right? She says, I agree, but I cause too many bloated open worlds, by the way. Why would Spider-Man want to swing around? Right. Can you imagine if Spider-Man wasn't open world? God, that would be fucking boring. That'd be boring. That's one of the greatest things about Spider-Man, that you're swinging around the open world city. Now, I do believe they could do more with the helping citizens and stuff like that because they were pretty bare bone. Once you did them once, you're like, I don't need to go save those guys anymore. Supposedly last weekend, Activision registered the name of Transformer Cybertron Reawakened. Yeah, but are they doing that for the Transformers games coming to Game Pass, or are they making another game called Cybertron Reawakened? I'm waiting for Starfield to be $20 so I can download the Star Wars mod. It's the best Star Wars game. It's the best Star Wars game, El Dante. It's the best official, non-official Star Wars game. It's so good. Now I've only played on the console with the mods, but the Genesis mod that I've watched online, it's the best Star Wars game. Right, but Wolverine doesn't swing around. Yeah, but if I can ride around on his motorcycle or climb up buildings with my claws and stuff like that, 100% I want that. I want to be Wolverine. I don't want to be Wolverine in a Marvel's Avengers type of game. I want to be Wolverine in an open world game. Drummond says, what about a Batman mod for Crimson Desert? I mean, I'm all for it. I pretend I'm Batman right now. I can't wait to find the all black dye in the game just so I can get some sort of outfit that looks like Batman so I could be Batman in Crimson Desert. No joke. I can't wait for that. I'm gonna get the whole Batman outfit going on. I'm gonna find the closest helmet I could find, closest outfit I could find, paint it all black, put a little yellow accents on it, maybe do the old gray one. I don't know. But we're making him look like Batman because that's how I feel sometimes. I know if Mike gets Transformers Cybertron Remaster, he's getting that day now. Day one? No, you know why? Because if they do a remaster, I already played it. I played it 2 years ago on stream. I still own the games. I can play them on my... I don't need a remake to be like, oh my God, this is so much better. Now, obviously, if it's on Game Pass, I'll play it. But I'm not going to buy it day one. I already own the games. And they're fantastic on the old systems. Sarge says, so you want to walk around the city as Wolverine so you can visit bars, drink bourbon, and smoke cigars for 40 plus hours? Yeah, sure. Yeah. If I can have Wolverine in a Grand Theft Auto setting, fuck yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. Where if you want the single player story and just beat the game from beginning to end in that story and that beats it in 10, 15 hours, cool. But if I could be Wolverine and be a superhero and save people in different storylines like they're doing in Crimson Desert, hell yeah, sign me up. those games are worth good money now. 2 years ago when we were looking for it, guy was selling it for $280 online. I went to a mom and pop shop about 40 minutes away from me, found that they had it, and they gave it to me for $40. $40. Same person that was selling it for $280 online. With your Batman suit, you'll switch to grapple, fist only. Yeah. Have you seen some of the clips of just hand-to-hand combat? Looks amazing. GTA 6 should do like a thing once you beat the game. You can import the Marvel characters and you want to play in GTA 6 and Wolverine, Spider-Man, Magneto. There's mods for that. You can play mods and stuff like that. Save people? Yeah. Yeah. He saves people indirectly after he murders the guy. Yeah, he saves people. JD Kent says the open world Wolverine could be a pub crawl. That's right. You just see how shit-faced you can get, and then you go around murdering people, and it gives you a bonus if the drunker you are. I would take that. Yeah. You have like a rage meter? Sure, why not? Oh, that'd be cool. If you could take the shield and throw it. Oh, that would be pretty cool, Mr. Z. No. By real talk, if you're going to want a GTA-style superhero game, The Punisher, take it. Yeah, but here's the thing, Travis. If Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and it comes to PC down the road and people mod it, you can have that. You can have the Punisher mod. You can have the Daredevil mod. You can have the Wolverine mod. People do it now. They put the Hulk and stuff inside of Grand Theft Auto now. 100%. All right, let's go to the second story here. The Mass Effect TV series. Okay. It says Mass Effect. Jesus. Okay. Let's move this. Mass Effect TV show ordered to rewrite scripts and make them more appealing to non-gamers. I have a question, chat. Why make a game adaptation for people that don't play video games? Now, I get it from a business standpoint. You want to bring people in, but the script of Mass Effect is perfect. Just take the game, make it into a TV show. You don't have to change shit. You just take the game, take the story of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, adapt it to television. You don't need to change anything for non-gamers. It's not like you're playing the actual movie. You don't need to change anything. The story is there, so just stop. But if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We just read stories, have conversations, give you my thoughts and opinions. So Amazon has allegedly asked for a TV adaptation of Mass Effect to be rewritten to make it more appealing to non-gamers. How is the story, again, I ask again, chat, how is the story a gamer story? It's not a gamer story. It's a story that you happen to game and interact with. But why would you have to change the story for non-gamers? You could just adapt the story. According to the Ackler, which reports the new head of global TV, he asked to read the scripts all in development projects before rewarding all the important confirmatory greenlit. Okay. He says, as noted by IGN, this leaves the drama sci-fi series on the verge of a full order, leaving the production and us in limbo while we also await decision. It's not clear that the aspect of the script that he thinks that put off on the coming into a franchise for the first time. Amazon's Mass Effect TV adaptation was officially announced in November of 2024. Last summer, it was revealed that Mass Effect series would be helmed by many of the team behind Amazon's Fallout show. Incredibly successful game to TV adaptation that notably takes inspiration from the games without following them directly. Cast the details also leaked towards the end of the year. A young Colin Farrell type male, 30 to 39, with the open ethnicity of female co-lead alien character requiring Prosthetics, 3439, a female human providing a parallel narrative from Earth. A Doug Jones type male villain, 40 to 60, and a male wrestler type soldier, 30 to 49. Amazon has provided no details about the show's story, so it's unclear whether or not it's based in BioWare or the original Mass Effect trilogy and focusing entirely on a new character in the same universe. Well, first of all, if you're making it a Mass Effect story in the universe, then one, you don't have to make it for non-gamers. You can just write a story. And if you're making it in the Mass Effect universe and using the characters like Shepard and just telling the story, they're going to fuck it up. They're going to fuck it up, chat. We know this is going to happen. They haven't learned the lesson, right? They haven't learned the lesson. Look at the Mario movie. The Mario movie might not have a story, but it stays true to what Mario is. It's very entertaining, and it makes a shit ton of money because that's what Nintendo fans want.
You do need to change things. Too many beautiful women trying to get your attention. Like Miranda, you know she's hot for you at the beginning.
Right? Thank you much for the $5. Appreciate you. Like, you don't need to change Mass Effect. Just leave Mass Effect alone. Just write the story. Because if you're a non-gamer, then you don't even know Mass Effect exists. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't even know Mass Effect exists. And if you are a gamer, you just want to watch the movie of Mass Effect. So by not changing the story, not only do you get the fans of the people that like Mass Effect, but then you also get the other people that don't know anything about Mass Effect that might be an actual fan of Mass Effect afterwards, and they're like, holy shit, there's a whole video game of that? I don't play video games. I like this story. I would like to play the story. Like, but no, they're going to fuck it up. They're going to fuck it up in some way, shape, or form, just like they do everything else. Just like everything else. As fans attempt to match existing characters, okay, as they attempt to match existing characters with the casting call, the Colin Farrell type proved that most controversial. Fans have guessed this could be a male Commander Shepard, protagonist of the original trilogy, but it would also suggest male Shep is canon over the female option. You can't win. You can't fucking win. It's always about sex or race or whatever it is. First of all, the main character is a male shepherd. You could make a female shepherd. I've played both. Okay. But to pick one over the other is not. It's like, just can we stop? Can we just stop? Can we just stop? Obviously, it doesn't matter if it's a male shepherd because you know they're going to change shepherd. And you definitely know they're going to change female shepherd. Regardless, they're going to change shepherd. Right? 100% they're going to change shepherd. Hero says nose-piercing shepherd. El Dente says green-haired shepherd, 300-pound feminist. They, them. In fairness, femme shepherd, she did become pretty freaking popular. I know more people that played female shepherd than male. Okay. But the actual character is male shepherd. But in a video game, you can pick if you want male or female. The fact that they wrote this at the very end, protagonist of the original trilogy, but this would suggest that male Shep is canon over the female Shep. That's because he was the main shepherd. Do you know why? Because that's what they chose. Tramp stamp shepherd. Don't know. I agree. I was always said male shepherd as the canon because I think actually he is the canon, but still. No, it's not, but still, he is the canon. That's it. The only reason there's a character is because people could pick and choose. You're like, hey, it's my story. If I want to be a girl, I'm going to be a girl. If I want to be a boy, I'll be a boy. But Shepard, male Shepard, is the main canon of Mass Effect. JD Kent says maybe Mass Effect needs more butt cheeks like Halo TV show. Is that what non-gamers want? I mean, I'll be honest with you. There was a lot of butt cheeks in Mass Effect. A lot of sex scenes, and then they got rid of them as they progressed. Someone asked me, we were talking about video games, and someone was listening. I was in a group, Like we were talking with a group of people this weekend, and we were talking about just games. And Mass Effect actually came up because they were talking about Grand Theft Auto and how their kids are not mature enough to play the games and stuff like that. And we were talking, and Mass Effect came up, and I said, "Oh yeah, there were sex scenes and stuff in the thing." They're like, "You want your kid to play Mass Effect for sex scenes?" I'm like, "No, that's not what I said. I just said that there's sex scenes in video games because they were talking about the hookers in GTA 6 where the car like bounces and stuff. And they're like, oh, I can't believe they did that." And I'm like, you know, it's a piece of entertainment. They're like, yeah, but why do you have to show sex scenes? Why do you have to show sex like that? I'm like, why do they do it in a TV show? Why do you have to paint art about it? Because you can. I mean, what are we talking about here? So it's okay if someone like paints a picture of a nude woman or a nude guy, but it's not okay if a video game has it. What's the difference? This is art. This is also art. But you play this art. You're not allowed to see. You're not allowed to see naked people here. Like, what are we talking about? Right? It's because it's like there's animated cartoons with naked people. You know what I mean? Like, it's because that's what they wanted to do. I don't understand. A lot of people are like, oh, why do they have to do it? I get it. If you don't like it and stuff, cool. I mean, it tells the rating on the box. You shouldn't be giving it to your 11 and 12-year-old to play anyway. But, you know, most of the nerds that watch these gaming adaptations are men, male protagonists. Could be a TV canon, or should be TV canon. Travis says, except for Andromeda, the one thing that most people agreed with is the coding that also could have gone into people. Yeah, I had a badass looking girl. She was gorgeous in Andromeda. Too bad the game sucked, but you know, I made a female protagonist there. Eclipse says you had to be over 18 to buy the game. If you're buying it for your kid, the game, that's your fault. That's actually what I'm saying, Eclipse. It's like, what are we talking about? Craig says, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Fallout 2 Season 2 was trash. I didn't watch it yet. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched it yet. I watched the first episode. I said it looked pretty good. I never went back and watched the rest of it. I had shit going on in my life. That's before Crimson Desert. Roic says, oh my God, The Witcher would go into a tailspin. Roadkill says, man, I need to get gas. Fuck, gas is $4 now. That's right. $4.25 I paid the other day. Oh, we were just having a conversation this morning, Roadkill. Someone's like, hey, did you download the app? Because 7-Eleven's like down the street from me. And they're like, did you download the apps to get cheaper gas? I'm like, I'm part of 7-Eleven's reward program to get cheaper gas. Yeah, they go, no, you have to put in 4 different codes and you get $1.50 off a gallon. And I'm like, but if I'm a rewards guy for 7-Eleven, they give you 5 cents, 7 cents, whatever the fuck it is. But now I got to put in 4 different codes so I get $1.50 off. Why don't they just give me $1.50 off? What are we doing? Why do I have to? Because they farm your fucking information. That's why. So put in 4 different codes and your phone number goes out to thousands of other people so you can get spammed, so you can get $1.50 off your thing, right? Make the problem, sell the solution, right? They shit on the Fallout New Vegas lore. Jason says, I stopped watching after episode 4. It got too retarded. So I want to tarnish. I won't be watching this. Like this, my show, or this Mass Effect? I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you. The Brotherhood of Steel would also have never done any of that shit. Yeah, well, this is why I don't know why they're making television shows for people that are not the video game guys. Like, why make a Fallout show? Why make a Halo show for people that are not Halo fans? Make it make sense to me. You would think with the baked-in audience that you have, you're like, you know what? There's a lot of people that play Halo. We should make a Halo TV show. And then they go, let's shit on the Halo stuff. Let's make a Fallout, and let's shit on the Fallout stuff. It's like, what are we doing? Why? Why do you want to make something and then not make it for the people that actually played it? Oh, yeah, Fallout sold 10 million, 15, right? Skyrim, 25 million copies sold. And now let's make a show of Skyrim, let's say, but let's do nothing of Skyrim. It's like, why? Why would you do that? Because they're idiots. Like, oh, no, yeah, the people that didn't play would love it. Oh, okay. If you say so. Titan says, Fallout Season 1 had at least 2 times hype the chatter, and Season 2 from my observations. So I just read an article recently. The original one had 100 million people, I think, watch it within the first, I think it was month and a half or whatever it was, right? The second season got 85 million people, but here's the difference. They had 100 million people watch it and then vanish off the face of the planet. 85 million people watched season 2, but they were there for 2.5 months or whatever it was. 2 months? Because they dropped it week by week. Let me look that up. Let me find that real fast. I just saw it recently. Seven days ago. Yeah. So Fallout 2 reached 83 million viewers worldwide within the first 13 weeks of release. Okay. Becoming Amazon Prime's second best performing returning series behind Reacher Season 2. Despite the shift from being released to weekly schedule, causing lower initial concentrated viewership compared to Season 1, the show remained at the top 10 high-performing hit, cementing it as a place of the platform's top 4 biggest seasons ever, alongside both seasons of Rings of the Power and Reacher. Okay, so it actually performed better because the first season was in and then just nosedived because people stopped watching it because they binge watched it and put it down. Where this one, it kept consistent for the entire time, 13 weeks. It kept consistent, which is better for them in the long run because more people paid for Amazon and whatnot.
At Solemn_Argus celebrates 26 months of membership. Eagle emoji, US outlying islands emoji, cool face emoji, handshake emoji, cool face emoji, US outlying islands emoji, eagle emoji.
Thank you very much for the 26-month support, Argus. Appreciate you, man. I hate how they portray the Brotherhood in that show. They all come off as so stupid. Why would they destroy a perfectly tacked car and then they all about preserving pre-war technology? It's because the people making the show don't know anything about the actual video game. Hero says, show's always getting fucked up. Look at the poor Marvel and DC. It's like they think they know better. They're like, hey, all these comics sold millions of copies. Let's make a thing that's nothing like the comics. They think they know better. They don't. But they're going to keep trying. Cleb says, I wonder if you put the someone's name at the beginning of that, if that person will still say it. Need to do that next time. Travis says, because Bethesda doesn't know how to write the Brotherhood and never have. I just think the adaptations, did you guys see there's another, well, actually, what was the other show they're doing? They're doing an adaptation of something else. Oh, they're doing a movie. I saw the leaks of, they're doing an Elden Ring movie, right? I don't know who's doing it, right? Are they going to fuck it up? Probably. They're probably going to fuck it up. I know someone's going to be like, well, there's not that much lore in it anyway, so how can they fuck it up? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, the problem between Fallout 2, Brotherhood, and Fallout 3 is that, yeah, Bethesda took over, and they made it their own thing. I know that's you, Travis. I know. E24, Elden Ring. Thank you, Titan. Did I say E? A. A24. I don't know why I say E. I can read. All right, let's go to the third topic. The third topic is about Halo, right? It's about Halo. It's not really a story. It's a tweet, and it has a two-part thing, okay? So this is the first part, which is Halo veteran. Hey, there's a YouTube video. Maybe we should watch the YouTube video, right? How long is this YouTube video?
What's up?
All right, let's watch this. Let's watch this first. Okay, let me add Rebs Gaming here to the to down below in the description because we're gonna watch his video. Right? Haven't seen this. Don't know what this is about. Is it Rebs Gaming. Okay. So let's do that. Where the hell did I go? There we go. All right, so let's watch this, and then maybe this will fill us in what the tweet and stuff is, okay?
What's up, everyone? This is Rebs, and go Birds! 343 Industries' rebrand into Halo Studios seemed like it was filled with nothing but improvements. The studio has a new unified development team structure, a new studio playtesting lab to promote studio-wide collaboration, and is developing multiple projects at once. While these things are true, I'm now uncertain about other things, mainly leadership at Halo Studios and Microsoft, due to a concerning event that occurred a few days ago. Halo's veteran art director of 17 years, Glenn Israel, has left Halo Studios. Glenn
That's always a good sign, guys. Just to let you know. When someone's been there for 15 years, leaves. It's always a good sign.
Started as a senior concept artist at Bungie in 2008 and joined 343 Industries in 2010. Leaving weeks before new Halo projects are revealed at the Halo World Championship on October 24th, after working on Halo for 17 years, including at least one of the new projects, is concerning. But what makes this very concerning is the message he posted on LinkedIn about his departure from Halo Studios. Here's what he said. As of today and after 17 long years, I am officially no longer contributing to the Halo universe.
I thought it was going to change, chat. I thought it was going to change. They changed the studio from 343 to Halo Studios. So everyone that worked at Halo Studios knew what they were working on, which was Halo.
There's little more I can say for the moment, though I intend to share this particular story in its entirety when it is absolutely safe to do so next year. In the meantime, I have a message for anyone and everyone who needs to hear it. I know that the state of our industry seems dire, but never forget that you are free to choose. No illusion of security, nor promise of wealth or fame or power is worth trading away your health, your dignity, your ethics, or...
We talked about this all the time, right? All these people that work at these studios that stay there and work, right? If you have integrity, ethics, values, you can leave, right? But they'll sit there and they'll bitch and moan about working for these companies.
Values, and no one can force you to. Stay strong, take evidence when necessary, and find where you belong.
Sounds like something's going on there, huh?
Two major red flags in this message indicate something is wrong at Halo Studios and/or Microsoft. Specifically, Glenn wants to wait until next year to share the story because it's not safe to do so now.
Well, yeah, because he's got an NDA, which is not allowed to say anything, probably for 12 months.
And he indirectly revealed that his health, dignity, ethics, and values were compromised at Halo Studios. This information by itself suggests there are leadership issues, and while I can't reveal any specific information at this time, I can now confirm there are studio leadership issues.
Isn't that always funny? How it always goes down to leadership, right? Upper management, middle management. Is that weird?
Once I speak to sources who allow me to share specific information about this topic, I will do so. As a side note, Glenn is one of 9 people listed in the art team section of Halo Infinite's credits, and out of those 9 people, only one person, art director Donnie Taylor, is still at Halo Studios.
Jesus. They've lost basically everybody, huh?
This story does not end there. Glenn's departure from Halo occurred less than a month after former Chief of Staff Melissa Boone left Halo Studios. The Chief of Staff quietly leaving a month before new Halo projects are revealed is very concerning. Also, after speaking to a former Halo Studios developer who Microsoft laid off in July, gaming news site Engadget reported that the mood at Halo Studios is tense, especially when it comes to one project that was recently in crisis. The developer said, "I don't think anybody is really happy about the quality of the product right now. There's been a lot of tension and pep talks trying to rally folks to ship." Based on what I know and all of these things happening within the past 3 months, I fear that something bad is brewing at Halo Studios. Employees with high-ranking positions are leaving Halo Studios less than a year after they rebranded, and shortly before they are about to reveal the first projects of Halo's new era. I will do my best to uncover and share the leadership issues at Halo Studios, and pray these issues are resolved for the sake of all Halo fans. So stay tuned, make sure to leave a comment about your thoughts on this information, and thank you so much for watching.
All right, so let's go to these tweets now. Okay, so Reb said, Halo veteran, art director, 17 years, suddenly left Halo Studios and posted all right, so there's that, right? So then there's these two posts by Glenn, okay? And we're going to read it more into what it is. Under a revised Code of Washington, Title 49, Chapter 44, Section 211, alleged the following: that between January of 2024 and June of 2025, I witnessed firsthand or was personally subjected to numerous unethical and unlawful acts committed by senior Halo Studios representatives, including, but not limited to, blacklisting, fraud, rampant favoritism, okay, manifesting as hiring and career growth interference, and multiple harassment campaigns designed to provoke the constructive discharge and unwanted employment or employees otherwise in good standing. He said that after filing several documented complaints with Microsoft's Human Resource Department in June of 2025, a senior global employee relations, GER representative, threatened relations, okay, on first contact and promised to squash any further investigation. That senior Halo Studio representative engaged in 4-day-long act of harassment intended to manufacture a cause for my termination in July of 2025, and that was aforementioned. Representative Supervisor, Microsoft Business Contact Compliance Department were provided daily visibility and failed to take any appropriate disruptive actions during act nor punitive actions afterwards. Okay, that complaints escalated. BRI and Microsoft's Workplace Investigation Team, WIT, were reported closed by the aforementioned GER representative, and that in fact they had been returned as out of scope. Okay, that and in August of 2025, catastrophic mismanagement of Halo campaign involved created the opportunity for senior Halo studio representatives to temporarily reassign the art team from an unannounced project and falsely characterize my role and redundant and plainly relatory act. That in September 2025, GER director promised to have this relation investigation and disallowed any consideration of original complaints, subsequent harassment of actions taken by GER representative. That between June and October 2025, GER, BRI, and WIT failed to carry out even some curiosity investigation by refusing to interview primary witness cited the original complaints. That between September and November 2025, Microsoft openly violated RCW 4912250 and has since made no attempt to meet the penalty obligation. So there you go. It says, I warned y'all back in October about the Halo Studio leadership yesterday. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger for everyone. Yesterday, and Halo Studio former art director Glenn Israel revealed that why he left the studio last year. He witnessed and was subject to blacklisting, fraud, rampant favoritism, and multiple harassment campaigns. He also said that August of 2025, the catastrophic mismanagement of the Halo campaign involved created an opportunity for senior Halo Studio representatives to temporarily reassign the art team from any unannounced projects and falsely characterize my role and redundant, plainly regulatory act. They moved his art team from unannounced project to campaign involved due to development issues. More issues, more problems. You can change the name of the studio all you want. You can do whatever you want, but you got the same people in your studio that you moved over from one to the other that have always been the problem, right? And I don't know why they keep the same people. I don't know why they don't do certain things, but here you are. So Halo still has issues. Imagine that. Imagine that the Halo team that is now called Halo Studios still not making Halo games, and they have to, because we read a story a couple weeks ago that they've also outsourced a lot of the Halo stuff to other studios that are not in the Halo Studios, which is just mind-boggling to me, right? Yet here we are, right? 2026, same as 2025, same as 2024, same as 2023, same as 2022. Upper management, middle management all have problems with these game companies, and yet they don't do anything about it. They just sit there, and maybe they can't. Maybe there's, in some way, shape, or form, they can't touch certain people for whatever reason. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Imagine just making a game, right? And I've dealt with stuff like this in the film industry, right? Nepotism, favoritism, people getting hired that just got into the business that never even did anything before because they went out drinking with their buddy and they made friends, so they got promoted faster. All of this shit happens, right? And you can stay with the company and sit there and complain and let it fester and get worse and worse. And then people start talking back and forth, and then they start spreading through the company, and it just makes it toxic, so toxic. Or you can fucking leave, move on to something else, and make sure that you work for a better company, right? These are all over the place. Doesn't matter if you're selling cell phones, video games, making movies. This happens everywhere, right? And you're like, I'm not leaving. I was here first. I'm sorry. There's a fester of cancer inside this business, and you need to remove it. And you have to gut everybody to get it removed. Because if one person, you think you removed it, but there's that one person that's still a problem, then it just festers again, and then it just spreads to everybody else in the company. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think is going to happen when the next Halo game comes out? Okay. Do you think it's going to be the greatest Halo game ever? Or do you think there's going to be a little bit of problems because they're losing their members of the company, the people that actually make the actual video game? See, the upper management, middle management, they don't make the video game. They work with the people that make the video game. But because they make it a shitty experience, people with talent leave because they're like, I don't want to be here. And people with no talent stay, and then we get, as customers, we get a shitty product. We don't get the make the game sell a game. We get the make a half-ass game, pay full price, and you wait 6, 8, 12, 18 months to get it fixed. Again, these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, check out some of their videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Mr. G says, 30 wasn't me, I swear. I'm keeping my eye on you. Keeping my eye on you. Let's see here. Titan says, Jeff Kaplan said the same. Big Mo says, the old guard and the new guard didn't work well together. Arga says, because the leadership is also one actually making any real decisions. The devs, no matter how creative or well-intended, they are at the mercy usually of a negative effect. That's right. Yep. Big Mo says, the studio needs to get their shit together. Tarner says, this franchise has been dead for over a decade, let's be honest. There's people that like the games and like Halo Infinite, but you have to admit there's something missing. Something missing. No game has sold as much as the other ones. The franchise has gone down since Bungie left. 343, when they took over, the best 343 game is the worst Bungie game. The worst that Bungie's ever done. 343 still hasn't gotten past that. Roic says, they much as really hate to say Halo has ran its course, and they just need to let it die gracefully instead of putting it out half-ass games and just stating the brand. Yeah, stating the brand, right? 100%. Argus says, the most likely leadership is trying to keep them all decisions-making power themselves to minimize the budget for maximize the bonuses, along probably with social politics is bullshit. And a whole lot of incompetence. A whole lot of incompetence. It's like they smell their own farts and like, yeah, we're fine. Right? They're collecting a paycheck instead of making the game, which they don't understand. If they make a game that's fantastic, actually, you know what? Not even fantastic. Just make a game that's actually complete and not broke or buggy and unfinished, then they would sell. And not only would they sell it, then they would become more valued and they would get better money for making a better game, but they don't want to do that. They're like, we're Halo. We made Halo. Yeah, Halo by name. Tarner says, I'm surprised developers still want to work with these big companies. Jason says, thanks, Bonnie Ross. Travis says, greatest Halo is Reach, and it won't be this. No. Argus says, as someone who also worked in many different industries, definitely the case in 8 or 9 times out of 10, you would know over what you know. You can also taught to do the job, but you can't be taught to be in a different person that the boss wants you to work with and around. Ron says, at least Concord Studio doesn't have workplace issues. That's right. Oh, somebody asked about Wildlight Entertainment last week, and I said they closed. They actually didn't close, but they've basically just abandoned it. And now they're being sued because they didn't pay their bills. They didn't pay their bills. Mo says, I disagree. You could disagree, Mo, but the sales numbers say different. So that's the difference. You could disagree, but facts are facts, and the facts of every Halo after those didn't sell as well. So regardless if you think it's better, facts say otherwise. You can like Infinite, but Infinite is infinitely worse than the other Halo games. Halos 1, 2, and 3, then Wars, ODST, then Reach, in that order. Let's see. When's the last time they don't even tell you the Infinite. They don't even tell you the Infinite sales. Okay. So here's the list. Okay. Let's make this nice and big. Obviously, when Halo originally came out, 5.5 million, then Halo 2, 8.46, then Halo 3, 14.5. Halo Wars is a completely different, not part of the franchise. I mean, it's part of the brand, 2.62. Halo 3 ODST, 6.5, and then the Reach was 9.87. Okay. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary sold 2.43. Halo 4, 9.75. That's when everyone was like, love it, right? Because they were like, let's do this. Now, was Halo 4, and I'm asking chat, was Halo 4 the last Bungie, or was it the first 343? I don't remember. I think Halo 4 was 343, right? Yeah, 343. So let's just use this, right? 9.75 million. Here's 14.5. Right? Now, ODST and Reach weren't off the main ones. These are side of the main franchise. Right? So 3 to 4. Right? 4 or 3, 14.5 million. 343, 9.75 million. Right? So let's do the less than greater than sign again. Right? Less than greater sign. 14.5 on the greater end side. 9.75 million on the other side. And there you go. So facts say that the best 343 game didn't sell more, right, than the last Halo in the franchise, which is 1, 2, and 3, because Halo ODST and Reach, right, 4 still better. No, that's your opinion. It didn't sell as better. In the main franchise, it did not beat, which is the best selling, is Halo 3. And they don't even show you Halo Infinite, right? They don't even show you Halo Infinite because it just sold so many, it's off the charts, right? It's off the charts. Let's see. Sales, I understand. What the hell else are we talking about? What are we talking about? Sales, you understand. I don't like early Halos. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. I'm showing you what the sales were. The sales of the original Halo were higher than 343's. That's it. Like, the fact that you want to argue about you like something, that's great. It's your opinion. I'm showing you facts of what sold more. Halo 3 sold more than 343's Halo 4 or Halo 5. Craig says it's so bad that Raven Software co-founder Brian Raffle retired. He made a Herrick of Hexen in the basement in Austin and grew Raven, and now he's like, I'm done. Now you're just moving goalposts, right? You're saying that you disagree, but you could disagree, but you're wrong because, again, the best-selling one was Halo 3. It unsubbed you? Well, that's weird because you're a member, so even if you unsub, you're still a member, and I appreciate you, Dolphin. Gears of War E-Day, I have hopes the game will be good. Not many, but some. Most people around during these times know that Halo peaked in the 360 days. Right. Why are we talking about Halo? Because there was an artist left the Halo Studios, and because there was drama. So if you go back a little bit, Dolphin, and watch, a art director or art guy worked there and left and said there was upper management, middle management problems. So we started talking about Halo. And then Mo came in saying, well, Halo Infinite's is the best Halo. And I was like, no, that's your opinion, not fact. And then I showed the facts of the actual sales numbers. And he's like, well, that's sales. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. That's how it works. Right? It doesn't matter if you like a game better than the other game. The best game is what it is. See, a lot of people don't know this, but I can have an opinion and you can have an opinion. And if one of our opinions happens to hit the actual answer, then my opinion is actually right and your opinion's actually wrong. If both opinions are not hitting the actual thing, then both of our opinions are wrong, or they could both be right. But opinions are opinions, unless there's facts involved. And then one of them can be the right opinion. Killzone is cool. I like Resistance. Fall of Man better than Killzone was also just a Nazi-style futuristic shooter. Killzone was a good game. I don't know why they're not doing anything with that franchise. So Battlefield 6 is the best. I don't know if it's the total sales best. It might be. But yeah, that's how it works. Doesn't matter if I like it or not. That is the best selling. So in the context of saying what is the best selling Battlefield of all time, Battlefield 6 would be that conversation if you think it is good or not, right? I can tell you that the best Battlefield for me, in my opinion, is Battlefield Bad Company 2, right? Someone will say Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. But if you're talking about sales numbers, and if Battlefield 6 does surpass, then that would be the best-selling one, regardless if you don't like it. And if it's broke, buggy, and unfinished, it's still the best-selling game. See, context is everything. So let's go here. So is this official? Oh, thank God. So far, Battlefield 6 It says it has 20 million sales. I don't know if that's official, because the last time they said it was 12. Is it 20 million? I'll have to look that up. But as of right now, it looks like Battlefield 1 is still the best-selling Battlefield. Right? Again, less than, greater than. So if we have a less than, greater than, 21 million is higher than 20 million. So someone saying that Battlefield 6 is the best-selling game would be wrong, because Battlefield 1 is the best-selling game. Now, again, is that players? Is that people, right? Is that sales? I have no idea. I don't remember them ever coming out and saying that Battlefield... Let's see. Battlefield 6 total sales. Okay, it says Battlefield 6 achieved a record-breaking launch with responded sales exceeding 7 million copies in the first 3 days. Later reports by year's end 2025 indicated that the series sales passed 20 million units, making it one of the top-selling games of the year and the largest launch in franchise history. But there's no total sales reports suggest. Yeah, but was that official? The game reached over 25 to 26 million total players, including free-to-play. EA says Battlefield 6 sold 6 to 7 million copies, but they never said anything else after that. Battlefield 6 has surpassed 20 million copies sold. Battlefield 6, best-selling game in 2025, selling over 25. But did EA come out and say that? There's no article that says that EA said 20 million sales. There's reports saying it sold 20 million. But EA has never come out and said 20 million. Why is that? Yes, my opinion of the update of Mass Effect do not eclipse the sales and everyone else's opinion. Battlefield Bad Company was peak Battlefield for me. Let's see here. $20 million copies sold. How many big maps does the Battlefield? Yeah, but they've never officially said. Because EA has never officially... Based on official announcement, Battlefield 6 has record-breaking launch. EA confirms over 7 million. But they've never confirmed anything else past that. That's the last time they confirmed 7 million for 3 days. They've never confirmed anything else. Yeah, note. While some community reports, as of March of 2026, mentioned up to 20 million copies, official press release focuses on the 7 million copy record-shattering 3-day launch. They have never, ever come out and said that we sold 20 million units. Just saying. Never, ever said they sold 20 million. It's a little weird, right? It's a little weird because when companies sell 20 million, they usually make up like a post, a placard. We sold 20 million. They've never said that. They've never come out and officially said that they've sold that many. Someone wrote it and people ran with it, but no one's officially said it, 20 million copies. Because they went big, right? It went from 7 to 10 to 12 to 14, now 20. Now, let's look it up real fast. Let's look it up real fast. Okay. So, Steam charts, right? This number here doesn't represent 20 million units, right? It says 11.7. So let's just say you add another, I don't know, 5 million, 6 million. Right? Again, 17. They still haven't announced that either. They still haven't even announced 10. They still haven't even announced 10 million units. Right? But this number here does not represent that many. Oh, and by the way, again, it doesn't really matter because they sold it. But look at that player base, man. Whew, that is terrible. Yeah, but see, Sarge, I don't like when people say, well, they sold this. I'm not saying anyone in chat, the article. But the official statement has never said anything over 7. Has never said anything over 7. They talked about best-selling 3-day week or 3-day opening, right? 7 million copies, but they've never said anything afterwards. It's a publicly traded company. It would be unlawful to lie about the sales numbers. They didn't tell you the sales numbers, but they also didn't lie. They haven't confirmed anything. Do you see what I'm saying, Jay? They haven't said anything besides the 7 million confirmation. They haven't lied, but they also haven't said anything. So you can't lie if you haven't said anything. If an article comes out and they sell 20 million copies, but they haven't confirmed it, I don't know what to tell you. They haven't said anything, Water. There's no official statement from EA saying anything past the 7 million units sold. Official. Mr. Z says, with 700,000 playing only one day a month, maybe they could also have 20 million sales. No way people played it only one day. Yeah, but we're not talking about that. Of course I understand that they're not 20 million people. This number averages how many people bought the actual system. This is an average, right? And they're saying about 11 million people bought the game. That's a really big number away from 20 million. And I understand there's console. That's a lot of millions to go from 11 to 20. Because I'll be honest, I don't think you have another 10 million units sold through the consoles. Or 9 million units sold. Supposedly it was up to, I think, 400 million. 350, 400. Waterbear, because you're asking how much did it cost. I think it was like 450, something like that. Well, I should say 350 to 450, somewhere between that. Actually, let me see. Yeah, it says Battlefield reported to exceed 400 million. That's just estimation, though. We don't know. That's game, not marketing. That's just game, not the marketing on top of that. So let's say they did another half of that for marketing. So what, $600 million for marketing? Like total marketing and game? What's the split for console versus PC games? You just have to go by that for the estimate. Yeah, but we don't know what that number is. Unless someone comes out and shows you like they did for Helldivers or for Marathon and shows you what that number is, you won't know. let's see. It says, and this is from Google, okay? It says Battlefield 6 experienced a massive launch with 747,000 peak players, but by early 2026, the player base on Steam dropped below 100,000, representing 80 to 87% decline, despite that it also remains a popular title within the active cross-platform PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Roughly 55% of the players on PC and 45% on the console. So 55% of PC, 45% on console. Total active players approximately. Steam shows around 30,000 to 50,000 current players, total active players across all platforms or higher, though decreased significantly from launch. Platform split estimates that 55 on PC, 25% on PlayStation, and 20% on Xbox Series X. The game initially overperformed, selling 6.5 million copies in 4 days with 65.7% on Steam. Retention issues, a sharp decline in players, over 80% decline. Reported within 24-hour peak, dropping over 700,000 to under 100,000 within a few months. So you would have to look at the total sales, and then 25% of that is on PlayStation, 20% is on Xbox, and 55% is on PC. There's no way they have 20 million sales. And if they did, they would come out and say it. They would 100% out and say it. I mean, sure, if you want to talk about Pragmatica, I don't, nothing about it. Talk about it. Like, all I want to know is just waiting for Hardline 2. Like, every day it goes by, he prays for Hardline 2. Oh yeah, Hardline 2 is what I really want, Travis. Yeah, it's exactly what I really want. See, everyone talks about like factual numbers, but they don't exist. Maybe they'll disclose the sales numbers on the earnings call, or they could say that it did or didn't make expectations. Well, soon as that, this is why they're not sharing anything, Jay, because they made a sale to Saudi Arabia and to, what is it, PGI or PIG, okay? And they're taking the whole company private. So there's that as well. Sell the company for $55 billion. They're moving it into a private sector or private company, and then they don't have to share the numbers at all. Maybe that's why they haven't shared the numbers, because they don't have to. Eclipse says, hell yeah, they can hide more stuff from us. Let's go. That's the company I trust to be private. I never get excited about any Nintendo Direct, Rhodes. I feel like they never really show anything. Like, never. Is this about Battlefield 6? If so, then it's well known that the lion's shares of the copies were sold on Steam, similar to the most first-person shooter games these days. Yeah, Tarnish, we just said it. 55% of the sales were on PC. 45% were on consoles, and out of the 45%, 25% were on PlayStation of the 40%, and then the other one, or yeah, that's what they said, and then 20% was on Xbox. Well, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, 45, yeah, right. So 25 was on PlayStation, 20 was on Xbox. Like, do we honestly think that Battlefield 6 sold 20 million copies and no one said anything? Like, officially come out and said we sold 20 million copies. You don't think they would do that? Did you see that Pokemon Go final winner lost his title due to celebrating? No, I didn't. I don't even know what I don't even know what that is. Like, as I know what Pokemon Go is. Was it like a tournament or something? Did you guys see what happened with World of Warcraft? Apparently there was a tournament going on, and the team thought they won, but apparently World of Warcraft patched in something and made another, like, they thought they beat the final boss in World of Warcraft. And then there was another phase. So they all celebrated, and yet another phase happened, which surprised everybody. No studio's going to sit around twiddling their thumbs, not saying anything while their game moves 20 million units. That's what I'm saying, Tarnish. Right? You want to say 20 million players? Sure. But even if they, let's be honest, even if they came out and said, we have 20 million sales, they're still 80 million short of what their goal was of 100 million players. They're still way short of that 100 million players. Let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, because they were talking about, they patched in something where they did a live update. Let me find it. Microsoft Blizzard subsidiary pulled off some of the most insane moments in esports history. Yeah, here it is. All right, so World of Warcraft, it says Microsoft Blizzard subsidiary just pulled off one of the most insane moments in esports history. In the WoW race to world's first event, U.S. team Liquid thought they had the race clinched until the final boss reveal, okay, an unannounced secret phase live to thousands on Twitch. The reactions were absolutely priceless, okay? So as they did it, world's first esports event, U.S. Team Liquid discovers live to thousands that the final boss had an insane secret final phase. World of Warcraft, unleashed as part of the Microsoft Xbox operation, Blizzard escaped the destructive tenure under Activision's previous shareholder culture and now functions as a separate business entity of the wider Microsoft gaming. Okay. Let's see. Midnight has its flaws, but it proves that Blizzard is still unchecked ambition for its worlds. And yesterday, Blizzard also proved they're capable of pulling off a live ops risk that increasingly rare in this industry. Okay. Every season, the best World of Warcraft raiders in the world come together and race for the world's first, which is also an esports event where the best guild race to be the first and defeat WoW's new bosses in the hardest difficulty modes. In an era of data mining and public test realms, typically standard that WoW raiders can research and learn exactly what they expect when going into the boss battle these days. Blizzard tests new content with the community to ensure it's smooth when it goes live to the public, which mixed results sometimes. It boosts polish, okay, or boasts polish, but also distracts from the element of surprise sometimes. He says, I started resonating with the allure of WoW beta test and YouTube spoilers myself to experience things when they fully finished up live in the game. Blizzard turned that on its head this season. As you can see in this clip above, that battling a final boss in the season, okay, it seemed that the US-based Liquid was about to clinch victory over the UA-based Echo, and the team began celebrating live on Twitch and hit point zero when something occurred.
Press 3, 2, press.
Everything, immunities.
Immunities in 3, 2, 1, now.
Let's fucking go.
Please, please, please.
Come on.
Yeah!
Wait!
No!
This cannot be! Come on! Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Please,
Come on!
This is the exact same thing if you guys ever watch sports, like in football, when a guy gets like an interception and he like runs it back 99.9 yards and then like drops the ball before he crosses the finish line. Do you know what I mean? Or a racer running on track and like booking it down and then starts to let up at the end and gets past the very end. That's what this is, right? Let this be a lesson to anybody that's actually playing video games or competitive. Do not celebrate until you actually are done.
This cannot be! This cannot be! Secret phase! No!
There's just no way. No!
Look at their faces.
What happens?
Do you see that? They're like, yeah. Yeah. Like,
Let's go. What is going on?
look at them.
Did they win? What happened?
That's like cheating on a test, right? Because they can data mine stuff and see what's happening. Cheating on a test, and then your teacher brings another part of the test out and says, test is not done yet.
What is happening? What do you fucking mean? Free intermission.
Wait, what happened?
No, these are they don't rent an office. This is esports. Yeah, this is esports.
Oh my god! Wait, what happens?
Let's go. What is going on?
Did they win? What happened?
No way.
They're stunned. Look at this. Half the rain is stunned.
Dark arcades, if they have a lantern still, they're gathering in it.
What?
I think a lot of the girls in the room are like, I don't know what's happening.
What's happening?
What happened? Look, they're
Coming
showers.
from the well.
They're showers. They're star splinters.
Come on, Kraken.
Wait, what? What?
Look, the announcers are confused. Everybody's confused. You don't want to be confused. Just beat the game. Like, if you hit a home run, run around the bases. If you get a touchdown, make sure you cross the actual finish line. If you're winning a race, make sure you cross the finish line before you start celebrating. Don't start celebrating before you're done with the actual thing. Right? They thought they knew because... So, let's have a conversation here. Do you think this is cool? Because Blizzard was able to implement something in the game without anyone knowing, which I think is fine. Because if people are running for a race, right, and they're doing an esports event, but they know all the stuff ahead of time because of data mining, and they implement something on raid day where no one knows instantaneously while they're doing the actual thing, and it makes a moment like that, that's pretty fucking cool in my opinion, right? I don't think it's wrong of Blizzard to do that. I think to make it interesting, now the next time there's a raid, they don't know what's going on, which should be the way it should be in the beginning, that nobody knows what's going on. But because they data mine, because they do this stuff, they already know the stuff that's coming, so it's not a surprise. So, I don't know. I think it's good. Now, the Asian girl in the back with the short shorts knows what's happening. The blonde with the gimbal has no clue. Yeah. Yeah. Like, what do you mean what's happening? That's awesome. They didn't know about that's cool as hell. That's what I'm talking about. I think it's good. Keeps people who take shortcuts on their toes. Right. I don't know. I think it's actually a good thing. Chopper Eric says nowadays, yeah, it's a neat thing to keep people on their toes about video games. Yeah, I thought it was cool. This is amazing. People think they can figure out everything on PTR, so they will make it think that they have the end. Not right. They don't think they know everything now. So going forward, now they're like, well, there could be another change. I don't know. I think that's a pretty cool thing they've done. Travis says, so what you're saying is the reason why we're not getting good content for Diablo 4 is that there's too busy wasting time. Secret final boss and the day of competition. Those are completely two different companies. You understand that, right? Like, there's completely two different teams working on World of Warcraft and Diablo. You do know that, right, Travis? I think if you played those games, you would know. Yeah, they're both Blizzard, but they're two completely different teams. Like, what are we talking about? So then why would you say what you say? Why would you say, instead of getting good content from Diablo 4, they're too busy wasting time on Secret Final Phase? Like, why would you even say that if you're not even playing the games? These are moments that you make yourself look dumb. You're like, I don't give a shit about this. I'm going to complain about something I don't know anything about. I don't do that. If I don't know about something, I ask. I'm like, I don't know. Or I take the L if I say something. I'm like, I thought I was right. Like, Diablo's coming out with a whole new expansion. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, when does the expansion come out? When does the expansion come out for Diablo? Like soon, doesn't it? Like April. Is it this month? Yeah, it's this month. So now take what Travis said. So what you're saying is the reason why we're not getting good content for Diablo 4 in the month of when the new content's coming out for Diablo 4. Come on now. I think the last thing I want to talk about is Starfield. I don't have a news story, but I want to talk about it because it comes out tomorrow, right? Starfield comes out tomorrow for PlayStation, and they've already changed the narrative. They've already changed the narrative on Starfield. You can see it across the board on social media and whatnot. The people that have been playing Starfield or still want to talk about shit about Bethesda and stuff are doing it in the comment sections of the tweets and stuff. But people that are getting it on PlayStation are like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Starfield coming up, right? 2 years later, and all of a sudden, the people that were talking shit, there's a whole bunch of people that are excited about Starfield coming out into PlayStation. It's almost like the people that were complaining about Starfield are, I'm going to use Travis's example, are people that weren't going to play the games anyway. You see how that works? The people that are complaining about Bethesda and how shitty they are people that are never going to buy the game anyway. And then the people that actually buy the game are buying the actual game. It's crazy, right? I could have gotten the content before if they didn't do the secret shit. But they're two different companies. There's literally two different people, two different teams working on two different games inside the game, the company itself. They're excited because they're getting a more completed version of it. Sure, but there's still people that talk shit about it because it wasn't on their system, and now it's on their system, so they stopped talking shit about it. That's the point, Roic. Regardless if they're getting a better version for a cheaper price, they still complain. People that were complaining are still complaining, let's be honest. But the people that are on PlayStation that were just waiting for the game to come out, just as is the opposite. Like when you're waiting 2 years you're on a PC and you're waiting for a PlayStation game to come on a PC, you wait 2 years and then you get the thing. El Dente says, it sounds like they were just jealous because they couldn't play it. That's what I'm thinking, right? Yes, they're two different teams, but think about how much they will be if they shouldn't craft a team, completely move them to Diablo and realize that World of Warcraft is shit. Or just keep the teams separate and make the two separate games that they're doing. Right, which actually goes back to our beginning conversation about should games just wait to come out? You know what I mean? Like, which again, they put Crimson Desert in that category of, even though it was fixed, most of the things were fixed in 10 days, not 2 years, 3 years, right? But yeah, more games should just wait to launch. But sometimes they don't want to wait because it's like the perfect time to launch. And obviously, look at Battlefield 6. They hyped it up. They made their 7 million sales in 4 days. They made their 7 million in 4 days, and now they say they have 20 million copies. Unofficial. If you could say what you want about WoW, you can hate it, you can love it, but the game is still one of the most played MMOs. It's been around. It started in its 30th year, did it not? Or is it 20? It's going on 3 decades? Or is it close to 3 decades? It came out, what, 2003? So 13, 23. Yeah, they're moving on their way to become 30 years, right? They're halfway there. 25 years? 23, 24 years? That's crazy. Sometimes when I hear how quickly CD fixed their shit, makes me think that they also know it's been broken before release. That's been actively fixing it, which they've admitted to. Yeah, because Luke Stevens said that while they were playing the game, they were talking about storage. And he said they have a fix for storage, and they don't know if it's coming out before the game launches, is what he said when he was playing the early access of it during his review process. He actually said that. So they were already fixing stuff. He actually said during his video that we watched that there was a problem that he couldn't log in, and he messaged someone on Discord, and within 30 minutes later, they fixed that problem for him. So they knew certain things were going on. It wasn't like he was the first one, right? And they were already making these fixes, which puts them in a completely different category than if you're saying it's Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, Battlefield 2042, or anything like that, because they knew the problems and they fixed it. Now, could they have waited 3 weeks for Crimson Desert? I think they could have waited, and I think it would have been much better because you wouldn't have had that lull of people talking shit about it, thinking it's broken, buggy, all these articles. Well, IGN would still probably write those shitty articles about it, but I'm going to see what's going on Twitter here. What game is that? Oh, ESO Hub. Holding a housing contest and happy to provide prize support. No. Witness the Taram Armada at the height of power. Oh, what is this? Little trailer. This is probably going to get clipped out at the end because they're gonna hit me for copyright claim because we're showing this. I would 100% watch a animated series of this. This is the expansion, the DLC to Starfield. This is a promotion thing for it. I mean, I'm interested in the DLC stuff. Hopefully the DLC stuff is better than the main story, and it's more like the side missions. You know what I'm saying? Like, story-wise? Because the side missions were great. I give this a 7 out of 10 because there was no speaking in it. 7 out of 10. Maybe they weren't ready yet, though, Krebsy. Maybe the game is still going to come out. It's going to be broken, buggy when it launches tomorrow. So maybe if they launched last week, it would have been even worse. Who knows? Let's see what else here. Apple sued 3 YouTube channels. What 3 of those? Is it mine? Oh, okay. H3 Podcast, Golfholics, and Mr. Short Game Golf. Interesting. I'll have to put that into the Discord and see what that is later. Read that later. Aku says, using Travik's logic, Horizon could have been way better if they weren't wasting their time with Spider-Man, Wolverine, and other games. It's very true. Very true. Yeah, 12:15. Yeah, nothing else is actually really popping up over on Twitter here. Crimson Desert has a huge map that will also take most players over 100 hours to explore, but now some are starting to complain that the open world has become too peaceful because they killed everyone. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to... We were going to talk about stuff. The fuck are we talking about? Oh, Krebsy just got here. He's like, what? Are you asking what Aku just said? Is that what you're asking what for? What did Travis say? Yeah, okay. So Travis said, because we were talking about World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft did an update during the Esports thing where they put another phase into the raid boss at the end. Travis said that you know what? Let me just click on what he said. So I get... He said, the reason why you're not getting good content for Diablo 4 is they're too busy wasting time on a secret final phase. Is the day of competition. Got it, is what he said. So then Aku came back by that logic. That's what he's saying. So now let's talk about this for a second. So after hundreds of hours, some Crimson Desert players are complaining that the world has become too peaceful because they basically killed all the enemies. Yeah. So again, I'm not at this point where I've almost killed everything on the map. I'm just outside the first area. But if I killed everything on the map, right? If I killed everything on the map, and I'm done with the story, correct me if I'm wrong, am I done with the game? Meaning I completed the game. It is a single-player game, correct, chat? It's a single-player game that you beat and then move on, or do it again. What are we talking about? I'm going to read this. New game fuss. Crimson Desert has a huge map and lengthy story that will take most players over 100 hours to work their way through. But now Pearl Abyss Action Adventure has been out for a few weeks. Some of the starting to complain that the open world has become too peaceful. I have a question. People that played Resident Evil Requiem and beat it in 10 hours, Are they complaining? No, they go back and play it again because that's what they want to play. You're playing this one game for hundreds of hours, and now you're complaining that you've killed everyone. Congratulations. You played yourself. You beat yourself. You beat the game. One of the interesting things about Crimson Desert design is that for the most part, enemies do not respawn and camps because it's not a live service game. Which I'll be fair though, they probably will patch this in and be more like Division, where like, you know, the cleaners come back after a certain period of time and take over and tries to spread across the map. Maybe. Who knows? It says, for the enemies that do not respawn, the camps, which also can overtake, do not become repopulated with enemies once they clear them out. Missions are not replayable or repeatable, and there's no Skyrim-style Radiant quest system to generate random encounters for eternity. Of course, there are things to do in Crimson Desert. Once you reach the end game, you can wrap up the Hangover quest, visit the unexplored areas, solve any leftover puzzles, and take any bosses left standing. This is exactly why I don't want to beeline the main campaign and do everything else first, because I feel like if you do everything first and then do the main campaign, I think you get more out of it, right? But what happens if you kill all the enemies in the game? Well, you're done. That's something players are now running up against. And despite getting hundreds of hours in fun in Crimson Desert, by that point, some say the problem's with it. You have hundreds of hours in the game. You paid $70 and have hundreds of hours. You pay $70 for another game. You have 8 to 20 hours. You have hundreds of hours in the game. What are we talking about? This game has a pretty big issue. Not many are realizing right now due to the way most are playing it and destroy some people's enjoyment, including my own. Warned Reddit post upvoted 2,900 times so far. PA, these needs a fix for long-term enjoyment. In the post, said Crimson Desert moves from being an action-adventure game to just adventure, because no matter what players do, eventually the world becomes empty in terms of enemies. You've played the game for hundreds of hours. It's a single player. It's a single-player game. What are we talking about? I already faced this problem 109 hours in, with the main story finished and most forts liberated in return, because zones are becoming too peaceful to even try most endgame builds or cool maxed out gear variants. Adding they're even struggling to finish most of the challenges because there aren't enough enemies around. I have to cheese things like the reed field, scarecrows, or hope that I accidentally kill random bandit patrols before I can finish the challenge, they explained. Even bandit camps stay empty once it cleared out. Patrols thin out greatly once the peaceful factions take over, they continue. I played for 6 hours yesterday and had 2 fights in total. I played for 23 hours and didn't fight anybody. That's because I wasn't choosing to fight anybody, because I was just exploring. They could also took less than 10 seconds because I basically 1 or 2 shot them all. Games like Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, Kingdom Come, Dragon's Dogma, all of these at least have respawning bandit camps. Are you still playing Dragon's Dogma 2? I have a question to this person. Are you still playing these games? Crimson Desert is basically thinning out with each red spot cleared out of the map within each main story quest progressed. This is bad. No, it's a single player game. Does people have a problem with this with Spider-Man? Once I beat the boss, I couldn't go back and play the boss again. No, because you beat the story. You move on, and if you want to play the game again, you play it again. One of the issues is the design of creating for players is like gullible term 3909 is that makes it 2 additional playable characters who most players do not focus on because pretty much all of the main story demands you play as Cliff. Hard to build up extensive of Cliff because they aren't many enemies for them to fight and by endgame. Now, I do agree with that. Okay. Now, I do think they will fix this, but the fact that you have hundreds of hours in the game, hundreds for gullible over here. Okay. With recommendations that the players collect as many sealed abyss artifacts as possible and leave the forts for endgame challenges. But doing that would actively avoiding clearing them out as you play through the game. It goes against the grain. I don't know if it goes against the grain because you get to choose what you want to do. If you choose to take them out, you take them out. Like, here's the thing. I am going and killing all the people, right? I'm doing all the people. If I don't want to kill all the people, I can run past all the people, right? I can just run past all the people, and I can just kill the boss. Like, I could get to the boss, fight the boss, and then it liberates the whole area, right? I can also not kill anybody, and I can put the outfit on of the actual faction that I'm fighting against. And now I can just walk around the town and not kill anybody, right? These are all things that you can choose to do in the game if you choose to do it. It turns out that he's not alone in their assessment. There are plenty of other people agreeing with them, suggesting various systems I'd also love to see in Crimson Desert to make the world feel alive. I've seen as much live of Nemesis system from Middle Earth, that's not going to happen, more than a few times, as well as Bethesda-style random mission system, even the dynamic siege war/tower defense system. But could Crimson Desert even support such a mechanics? Are you ready for the next problem, chat? Are you ready for this next problem? The next problem would be that, let's say now Crimson Desert patches in where now they reestablish and they take over the areas again. What you're going to get is the exact same thing people complained about in Division 1 and Division 2, that it's boring because now I'm just fighting the same guys over and over again. Right? That's what they're going to say. Perhaps more feasible in a system that would also see forts reset or increase spawn rates, or a few big grindable areas where players can go all in on scores of enemies so they can wrap up the challenges and build up with other playable characters. It's interesting because they already have the mechanics in place. One player said, whenever you also certain quests, enemies will blockade certain regions until you clear them out, even if you're already done so. They can 100% implement a system where bandits randomly start taking areas over again. Some players are resorting to committing crimes just to force city guards who could otherwise be on your side into attacking you, just to see some endgame action. Seem a bit extreme as all the characters of Cliff and also the Greymanes, but must be support. Not everyone's on board with these complaints. However, I would assume a fraction, right, is not on, a huge portion is not on board with this. However, some are even mocking them. I'm 300 hours into the game. There are major issues that everyone will also encounter, which also is so bad that it's not a cause of people to quit, one player said. When you do everything, the game ends. This is a huge problem, which is likely causing 99% of people to quit. You beat the game. You beat the game. What happens when my podcast is done? It's done. You go watch something else. That's what happens. Or you can watch the show again by rewinding it and then watching it again if you wanted to, right? You are hundreds of hours in, bro. 100 hours in. So some are going far to imagine that Crimson Desert looks like after you've played months or even years. After 700 hours, I killed every single NPC and only the vendors and Greymanes are left, which I can't kill yet. One player joked. Want to know a secret? You could restart and get another 300 hours. It's exactly right. It's exactly right. Of course, this won't be an issue for most players, who I imagine won't even get to the point where they also killed most of the enemies in the game. I played for just 50 hours in Crimson Desert at this point, and I doubt I'll even get close to the world state that some players are experiencing. And while I'm certainly a completionist, Crimson Desert is so dense with the content that the challenging and my determination to see all of those green ticks in Hernan before I even move on to the main story forward. Well, here's the thing. If you want to complete your challenges and you killed everything in the map, guess what? You start again, and then as you get your challenges, you do your challenges in the actual game. If you want to try to 100% the stuff. Like, I am so baffled by this. However, I wouldn't put it past Pearl Abyss to add some significant end game content, which I think they will. Right? I think they will. But the fact that a person puts in 300 hours into the game and is complaining there's nothing to do, you put 300 hours into a single player game. Quickly update the game in response to players' feedback. And what about the DLC? Given how well Crimson Desert has sold, you imagine the expansion in some sort of in the works. All right? We've got plenty more in Crimson Desert, including the story. Yeah. So I think this is absurd. I think they grabbed one person, which they did, one person's Reddit post and said, I got 300 hours in the game. There's nothing to do. Like, just reset the game. Fantastic. Fantastic. I got 300 hours. I don't want to play 300 hours again, but I want to continue playing my 300 hours. Oh, let's see what you guys are saying here. Sarge says, congrats, you won. Now shut the fuck up. Argus says, players are running up against who? I've not heard a single person saying anything even similar to having this issue, nor being concerned about it. Like I said, I'm sure that they'll figure out something where like factions come back, right? But it actually doesn't make sense when you get rid of, because if you play the game for any amount of time, once you kill the bosses and stuff, the factions leave that area. So it's part of the story. Star says, bro, they have to keep beating on Crimson Desert. It's their only play. The narrative must be maintained. It's fucking disgusting at this point. I knew the gamer haters were out there, but to see it now for everything from every viewpoint as negative, this is amazing. That is what sells. It's fucking nuts, right? The game has a problem, a major problem, a major problem. When you're 300 hours in, you're not going to have anything else to kill. Hey, finishing the game is now a problem. Do you understand their bullshit? This is the exact problem I was talking about. For me, Crimson crumbles under its own ambition. It's a cool swing, but it fell flat in every department for me. That's fine. Not every game is meant for everybody. I don't like side scrollers anymore. You teleport to next week. Right, next week they'll have a patch, Krebsy, and they'll be like, hey, we fixed the game, and now factions keep coming back. Right. Why is this negative? Resorting to trolling and guards for a fight means you love the game loop. Hello? Let's see. Water says, we all do the opposite of what IGN says. We're all better off for it. IGN is really out there, looking for the most absurd complaints that make the entire article around it. Yeah, it's crazy. And you don't have to like Crimson Desert. See, this is what I don't understand, right? If I'm like, I'm eating strawberry ice cream. Here's a food analogy. I'm eating strawberry ice cream. I'm sitting down with you, and we're having a conversation. You don't like strawberry ice cream. Do you sit there and go, I don't like strawberry ice cream, and this is the reasons I don't like strawberry ice cream? You're like, no, I don't like strawberry ice cream. Cool. I'm eating my ice cream. You're eating your ice cream. That's why there's so many flavors, because not everyone likes all the flavors. So for you to come in and be like, well, I don't like this, great. We don't need to know why you don't like it or why you like it. It's just that you're playing the game or you're not playing the game. There really doesn't need to be like a conversation or like, well, this is the reason I hate it. It didn't work for me. I just don't like the thing. I think it was boring. Cool. Yeah, great. And then when you're done saying that, you like, and I'm not saying Baby B or Yellow is doing this, right? But what I'm saying is people just keep beating the drum of like, yeah, you guys like it, but we don't like it. And this, they're great, right? I feel bad for people who don't like Crimson Desert, truly missing out on one of the best modern gaming experiences. Yeah, but people don't like open world games, right? People don't like survival games. People don't like extraction games. Right? I'm not playing Marathon. I'm also not going into places going, I fuck Marathon. I don't like Marathon. Marathon's a piece of shit game. It's not for me. I just don't talk about Marathon. Now I talk about Marathons, the numbers and the declining numbers, and did they make enough money back to continue the support of the game for the next 8 months to 12 months? That's the story, but that's not what I give a shit about because I'm not playing the game. Right? I'm covering the story. I'm definitely not going into other streams talking about Marathon that I don't play. I don't even get part of that conversation. I see people talking about it. I'm like, that's cool. I put 50 hours in, really tried to make it work. But like, man, I don't know if I felt like it had every standard Pearl Abyss issue to me. What were those things, more Bear Scrubs? Like you put 50 hours in, right? So you're like looking into it. You're like, something's scratching it for you, but then you had problems because you probably played Black Desert Online, I would assume. There's cool stuff in it, but I don't think it'll be Game of the Year conversation. But what matters if it is? Who cares if it is or not? Crimson Desert sucks. World's on fire. Cats marrying dogs. Pandemonium, Mike. People don't like being lied to about everything in the gaming when we can read or do math. I went back to Black Desert Online just to get the edge off so I can say I have my copy. You're still waiting for your copy. I feel bad for you. You'll enjoy it. You'll love it, Altern, when you play it. Whoever had those issues is likely to be patched out by now. Yeah, but I think that some people won't like the game regardless. They just don't like. Maybe they don't like because it is a completely different game when you first play to when you're 20 hours in to when you're 50 hours in, right? The way the combat is and stuff like that. I can see when someone can't figure out a puzzle and they're frustrated. They're like, it's like, this is stupid. Oh, I get it now. So in order for a game to be considered good, it has to be Game of the Year conversation. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't give a shit if it's Game of the Year or not. Jay says, I hate country music, but I go to Honky Tonk every day after work. What's wrong with this bar? It can't be my choice. Can you guys change the country songs here? Be like, there's another bar. No, I really like this bar, but I don't like the music you play. I didn't say you didn't say it was good. I'm asking you why. You said you paid for 50 hours is what I asked you. I didn't say that you hated the game. Never said that. I'm asking, you played for 50 hours. So I was just asking, I mean, for 50 hours, that's basically double a single player game that you would normally play, right? Because normal single player games are done in 15, 20 hours. You put 50 hours in. So there was something there that was scratching your itch, right? I think a lot of people really hyped up and they're trying to convince themselves it's worth the hype. And then it might not just be, it might just be a good game when it might be just a good game. I think a lot of people do that for a lot of things though, right? Like, who was it? It was Destin Laguerre. Destin Laguerre there was a game that came out. I forget what game it was. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. There was a game that everyone liked. Everybody liked it. And he couldn't get involved with it. He was just like, I don't know why everyone likes this game. I'm trying to like this game. It's just not clicking for me. And I was just like, why are you trying to force liking something that maybe you don't like? You know what I mean? He was trying to force the game. He's like, I want to know why everyone else is loving this game, but I just don't like the game. It's like, okay, well, maybe the game is just not for you. It's okay. It's okay that the game is not meant for you. My biggest issue, and this is kind of vague, but I find a lot of the game is immersion breaking. The world looks beautiful, but I find nothing in it feels alive. I have no idea what you're talking about because I literally, and this is no joke, I literally spend about 23 hours fighting zero things, going around doing puzzles, going around finding the different armor and build sets, getting resources and everything. I've gone hunting. Like, I totally get we're two different people, right? So to say that it doesn't feel alive, again, you put 50 hours in. So there's something there that you like. I don't mind the lack of story. Bad story, I enjoy the sandbox. What you're really doing is joining and exploring the map. Right. So if you like exploring the map, So how long have you played the game, and how of that much time of the 50 hours you just exploring the map? Because if you're just like exploring the map, then you're gonna love this game. Let me ask you this. Let me ask this for you. In the 50 hours that you've played, honestly, probably 42 hours pure exploration. Okay. So out of all of the time that you've spent in the game, how much of the map have you exposed? Right? Because I'm 123 hours in, and I haven't left the left side of the map. I haven't left the left side of the map. I just broke into the top part of the map above Hernan. Travis says, Mike, you said you're close to 125 hours right now, so that means that you're about another 150 hours or so. You can finally admit it, that the bad game you'll have to reach of 300 hours. That's right. I'll be like you with Fallout. That's right. It's immersion breaking because there is no get up and have breakfast and go to the job. They drive back home. Argus says you have to do some the main story too, because it starts opening up in the new systems, the mechanics, and new characters for you to play as well. Yeah, have you messed with anything of the Grey Mains camp at all? Have you messed with anything in the Grey Mains camp? Altar says I have 12 hours in and I love it so far. It's like 6.5 to a 7 for me. Okay. How much of the chapters are you in? Get to chapter 4. Do the main story up to chapter 4, and then start doing the Grey Mains quest of upgrading your town. That'll give you that right there. If you haven't already started doing that, that will give you purpose in the game to go explore and go do things. So by doing that, by doing the camp stuff, will make you go explore to go do other things. And when you go do the other things, you'll be exploring, and if that's what you're playing the game for, you're going to love that. I'm assuming you haven't done any of the stuff, because you said 42 hours of pure exploration, meaning you haven't touched the camp building stuff. Maybe he says, honestly, I returned it not because it was bad, but because it was daunting. Just not for me. That's understandable, B. The reason Sarge's not getting it is because he doesn't have the time to put into it. It's a lot of time to put into it, right? It is daunting. That's reasons I don't go back and play like No Man's Sky, because there's just so much to do in games that are this big that it's daunting to look at the time that you have, and you're like, I don't have the time to put into a game like this. Waterbear says you definitely want to do the side quests. If not, you'll miss out on a lot of cool stuff. Yes, the English second language, and you have to fill in what Cliff might say. The person keeps talking, but this is not it is not that bad with great voicing. My kid called it PAHR for the first time. I think people who are over shitting on it, are the glazers, say it didn't launch broken when it had a bad bug that crashed your game when opening map, or shitting on saying nothing to do. I've said from the very beginning, Krebsy, it had problems, but when people put it in the same conversation as Cyberpunk, Battlefield 2042, No Man's Sky, Starfield, and all the other, not even the same one, or Fallout 76, not even the same thing. Not the same thing. Argus says you don't want to over-explore too much, because certain quests and side stories will take you into some of the points of interest. You're going to go out prematurely. Yeah. That happens a lot. I actually got a YouTube recommendation for a gamer dad, and he says he's loving the game. He said he doesn't have the time to put into really, but the time he does put in it, he feels like he's getting his enjoyment. Again, each their own. Each their own. Travis says, how many of us have asked this already on a different streaming? If you didn't, can't remember, apologize for it. But what is the story with the Star Citizen single player? They just canceled it, or what's up? No, they still have the single player. They're still working on the single player. It's still in alpha? Beta? I'm not sure. I know it's still in early testing or whatever. 12 years later. 13 years later. I'll be honest with you, Aku, I don't even know if I'll find that. What I found cool, I told a story earlier this morning, and maybe there's new people here, so I'll tell it again. I happened to find a cave, because there's certain caves on the map that gives you a reason to go do. I found a secret cave. There's just a cave that wasn't on the map. I was walking around, and all of a sudden I saw it. Okay, so I walk into the mine shaft or whatever it is, and when I get in there, it opens up into this like room, and there's like things swinging and stuff trying to kill me. And there's a puzzle on the other side. But in the room I'm standing in, I happened to look around, and there was a map on the wall. On both walls, there's a map. Okay. Now it's really dark. Obviously, you're only hitting the lantern or whatever. So I had to hold up the lantern, and all of a sudden I see the map on the wall, and I see one red X on the thing. And next to the red X, it shows the town or the point of interest on the actual thing, right? So I was like, I don't know what this is, but my brain, because I play games like this, I used to write stuff down. I took a screenshot of it on the Xbox, just a quick screenshot. I was like, I'll worry about that later, right? So then I did the puzzle, figured the puzzle out. I was there for maybe 15, 20 minutes trying to figure out what I had to do. Did it, walk out, went back and looked at the map, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. Left the mine shaft, and then I just started traveling around the area around it. It was, fog of war. 3 hours later, fog of war's gone because I've done all the points of interest or whatever that are around there. So now the whole map has appeared. Okay. So all of a sudden, when I went back to the map to look at something, I saw one of the mountain ridges, and I was like, oh. I said, that's the point of interest that was showing on the map in the thing. So I opened up the screen, look at the screenshot. Sure enough, that is the point of interest that is on the map. So I was like, okay. So I saw the red X because I went back to the screenshot, looked at the thing, said, okay, it's got to be about there. So then I went to go do that, found a chest, opened it up, found a pair of gauntlets and stuff, and I was like, oh, cool. Right? So then I started going back and then doing back, open up the thing again, and there's 2 more X's. And I'm like, okay. So then I look at the ridge line of where it's going. I said, it's about here. So I walk up there, I look around, trying to find things, and sure enough, I find another chest. And then I find another chest. So then I have a full, complete set of these things because I walked and found a random mine shaft. Maybe I would have found that because it was a quest later in the game, but I found it on my own. So I went into the thing, saw the thing on the wall because I was observant enough to see it. Some people probably just walk in, do the thing, and leave, not even looking at the wall. I saw the map, took a screenshot of the map, and because I did that, now I've enjoyed myself for an extra 5 hours because I did 3 hours of going around going, wait a minute, I just saw that before, went to the screenshot, said, yeah, that looks like it's it, and that's what I did. Uploading Factor says, not going to lie, I think Crimson Desert is objectively one of the worst designed open world games out there. Cool. It's incredibly unintuitive, looks amazing, but mechanically, it's such a mess. It was so excited for the game, but then I also think it lands as one of the biggest disappointments of all time unless some major updates roll out. Have you played it since the patches came out? I'm confused by everything you're saying there. All the randos coming in and saying the same thing. Yeah, it's I don't understand. It's got to be, right? Because everything you just described in those 3 sentences that you wrote mechanically has been fixed, right? Because mechanically it was a mess for mouse and keyboard and stuff, which they fixed. It's like you watch someone else complain about it from like 2 weeks ago and then saw the thumbnail and was like, oh, he's talking about it. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it is Facebook. Because if you're playing the game now, you would know that those changes mechanically and stuff have been fixed. So your criticism would be good if we're in week 1, 3 days. Argus says they've already changed the controls to be much better, stamina to be better, performance to be much better, added more mounts, added private storage. They've also addressed the major player complaint. The waterfall mechanics may be the worst thing I've ever seen in a game. To stab through a waterfall? The worst mechanic ever in a game is because you can't walk through the waterfall. Interesting. You haven't played very many games, mechanically. If you think that's the worst mechanic in gaming, you haven't played very many games. Have you tried walking through a waterfall in real life? Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. You don't get blown back like you do in the game, but yeah. It's so. Hey, I'm not trying to sell you on the game. You don't like the game, cool. I'm out here trying to make purchases for people. You play what you want. Travis says, clearly the worst mechanic in all gaming is playing hero shooters. Yeah, clearly. I almost feel like Aaron made another account just so he can come in and talk. It sounds pretty close. Video games have given people a false sense of security about how real waterfalls are. Well, obviously it's like real life. You could jump off and put a cape on your back, Argus, and float around, right? For sure enough, 100%, Travis. 100%. Yeah. Because I always jump off my roof with a cape on. And I float at least 3 inches. I don't know if it's floating or more like falling gracefully. It's just the little exploration things being unintuitive that stack up. How many hours do you have in the game? Uploading factor. How many hours do you have in the game? Crimson Desert, 1 out of 10, no AK-47s. All right, 5 hours. I'm not saying your 5 hours are not like you can make the statements that you're saying, but your 5 hours mean absolutely nothing because what you're saying is literally repeating people that said stuff 12 days ago. Literally, everything you're saying is what people said 12 days ago before the patches went through. Which is fine. Again, if you don't like the game, cool. But literally everything you said is like a parrot just chirping what another content creator has said about the game 12 days ago. Argus says, at least Pearl Abyss go for the attention to detail and some unique senses of realism for the other games don't. It makes it more enjoyable for me. Yeah, I like, I don't know. There's some of the stuff, certain things only happen, sort of like Grand Theft Auto with Red Dead Redemption. Certain things only happen at night. Other things only happen during the day. Crimson Desert also had numerous updates and patches to address the fix of major problems. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we have no taste. So that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, who's Aaron? We know who Aaron is. It's all good. All right. Anybody else? Let's see. What time is it? Oh, it's almost 1 o'clock. We went way over today. We went way over today. Baby says, I don't know. Just enjoy what you like or don't play what you don't like. Yeah, it seems pretty simple, right? Argus says, it's probably easily my favorite game of the year. And I doubt anything will be. Yeah, if we talked about this, last week? 2 weeks ago? If a Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out this year, at the end of the year, and I play that and this, I mean, for me, it's a great year because open world games, right? We got Forza 6 car open world game for me. I like that. We got GTA 6. We've got Fable's going to be a little bit open world. We got Hightail updates and stuff. That's an open world. So there's a lot of stuff. Light No Fire, if it comes out, I don't think it's coming out this year in any way, shape, or form. But lots of open world games. I like open world games, so I like traveling and stuff, exploration. Sarge says, patches were released within the same week. How fast would you like fixes to be made? 3 days, Sarge. It was 3 days and then 10 days. Argus says, not even the hype for GTA 6. They lost my interest with the focus of GTA Online. Expectations are low. Did they say they're doing it for GTA Online? They're focusing on GTA Online? Did they say that? Krebs says, I'll be shocked if Fable launches complete this year. Oh, I don't think it'll be complete, but it's definitely coming out. I mean, you saw the story, right, Krebsy, where fucking State of Decay 3 is an alpha? Like 6 years ago, they showed that fucking game off. And now they're an alpha? When did they start working on it? 2 years ago? Yeah, 6 years later. Why? Because they just started making it. That's why, Altern. That's why. The reason State of Decay is an alpha and they're doing playtests now is because now they actually made something. November, Sarge. It was supposed to come out in November. Yeah. They needed a year. Well, first it was 6 months, then they needed a year. I think the timing is really bad for Fable, Altern. Yeah, now that Crimson Desert has released, I don't know how people will feel about Fable comes out, and it's not Fable because we can't do anything, do it nowadays. One, let's say it comes out before Crimson Desert came out, right? Let's say Fable comes out as like open world. People are like, "Oh, this is good." They came close, but now because Crimson Desert's out and the way the open world is there, now Fable will be like, "Yeah, no, this is not it. This is not it." Argus says, I want Xbox to be the best performers, and even I know Fable is going to be shit. I don't enjoy racing games in general. GTA, I like Forza 6. I'm excited about that because me and my son have something new to play. I think Forza 4 and 5 do a great job with the open world stuff and how there's just so much stuff to do in those maps. Waterbear says Fable has to come out complete. I say it drops 2027 mid-year at the earliest. It's coming out this summer. It's coming out this summer. What are we talking about? Ready or not, it's coming out. What's the date that it has on it? It's like June, doesn't it? Didn't they say it comes out this summer? Fable doesn't have a release date? Oh, it's coming out this year. Not complete, but it's coming out this year. Forza drops in June? I think Forza June 6th or something like that. No. May 19th. May 19th is when it comes out. What did Yellow say? Yellow says Fable will be better than Crimson Desert. I hope you're right. I love Fable series. It would actually be sad if it isn't, because Fable's a very popular franchise, and this is the fourth one, where Crimson Desert is number one. It's a new IP. So if a old IP doesn't beat the new IP, well, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a problem because I don't think Fable's going to do it. Sarge says Fable will be shadow dropped directly into the wall. The main character on Fable is hot. Well, the main character is you're making your own hero. They changed it. The main character is who you want to make the main character. I think Fable will be decent, but it's also STU's first attempt. Make something other than racing game. There are going to be growing pains, and I think the change of genre is always... I'm always been worried about that. Playground Games coming around, making a completely different game, an action adventure game compared from their driving games. It's like it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, we saw that Mo cut you off, Dolphin. You posted that in the Discord. That's how Mo drives. Even his AI knows it. They're like, how does Mo drive? Let's make it realistic. You know, maybe they don't put out Fable this year, like you guys are saying. Maybe it gets pushed back. They're like, a lot of open world games coming out. Maybe we pushed it back, even though I think they wanted all those games to come out this year. All right, we're gonna leave it there. It's 1 o'clock. Give you an extra hour or so. We appreciate it very much. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do this live Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be back tonight over on our other channel, 30 and Still Gaming. We'll be playing some more Crimson Desert. So I'm sure YouTuber will be out there hanging out with us because he loves the game. I'm sure Yellow Stick and them, come on over. We're going to be playing some Crimson Desert. Get all the people that love it to come on over to watch Crimson Desert over on 30 and Still Gaming. Other than that, we'll be back tomorrow for the Daily Grind. Appreciate you very much. You guys have a good one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
But every time I pull the trigger, it's like ghosts in the smoke. No suppression, no pressure, this ain't the old code. Grinding all night for that scope I need. But every upgrade feels like I'm planting seeds in concrete. Yeah, battlefield's back, we'll fix it, please. Hey, hey. Battlefield's right, hey, hey. We'll fix it, please. Hit detections while bring it to its knees. Maps look good, but don't play right. Every flank turns into a fire with light. Still we're storming through the fire and steel. Cause damn, it finally feels real. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Smooth launch, yeah, I can't believe my eyes. Call of Duty players jumping in, switching sides. Jet flybys, tanks on parade. But these spawn points got me feeling betrayed. I want that chaos, that old school thrill. Not running 10 miles just to die on a hill. So patch it up, guys, we know you can. Don't lose your soul to the same old plan. Yeah, battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Hit detections while bring it to its knees. Maps look good, but don't play right. Every flank turns into a fire with light. Still we're storming through the fire and steel. Cause damn, it finally feels real. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Now they're talking about a BR mode. Dropping in hot, another heavy load. We've seen it done, we've seen it fail. Don't chase the trend, stay on the rail. Keep it battlefield, large scale fights. Don't trade the war for battle lights. We want squads, not loot box dreams. Stay true to the chaos, not stream of memes. From 2D 42 scars we rise. Learn the pain, now we're wise. Portals back, but man it's a chore. Gotta dig through the trash to find the goal we adore. So here's to the soldiers, the fans who